What is up, RotoGrinders? It's Movie Monday. Happy Monday. Myself and Chop, we're here for the next 2 hours of nonstop MLB DFS conversation starting right now, taking you all the way up to first pitch for tonight's 10-gamer. 10-gamer in the Association of Baseball. I don't know why I said it that way, but that was strangely worded. I got a case of the Mondays, I suppose. 7:07, that is our first pitch in Toronto. Shout out to the Blue Jays, saving 2 minutes there for their anthem. It's myself, Chop, 10-gamer. We have coming in later, cheap just Kevin Roth, Stevie as well, jumping aboard, as well as Derek Carty, CEO of the Bat and the Blitz, around 6:15 or so. Weather-wise, we're pretty clean. I'll go ahead and drop this in chat for the people. Have an eye on Tampa, Chicago. You know, it's Chicago and Tampa. Green, yellow, straight green in Chicago for the Cubbies. Green, yellow for St. Louis and Colorado. We do have a Coors game. Biggest total on the board by far. The only team that has a team total above 6 is the Cardinals in Colorado. Locked in for 9. No lineup just yet. We'll get one, I presume, at some point throughout the show. That will drop. We have most of the lineups so far today. Chop, happy Monday. How are things?
Well, Dean, it's it's weird, man. Just, I come back. It was my first show in 13 days, and StreamYard's a little bit different, and I can't find the stuff I want to find, and can't adjust things. So my mic is sticking up here. This is awfully bad production on my part, but I didn't.
No mic check? You did a mic check in the chat. I thought that's all encompassing.
No, that's a mic check. That's like mic 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Yeah.
Check. No,
I thought that was all things mic related, but continue.
No, this is obviously video. This is a video feed problem, not a mic problem.
Yeah.
So I got that, man. This is my first day back to work, period, since the All-Star break.
Man.
So it's been a while, man. I'm not gonna lie, Dean. Well, it's just the way the days shaped up, The MLB All-Star break is ridiculously long. So they cut you off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So unless you got content on Friday, you got like a full big deal off. But anyway, I have to tell you about the All-Star break, Dean. I had a big list of things I needed to do. Lots of stuff. Lots and lots of physical, good, get out and, in the yard in the sun and do things, kind of labor stuff. Tuesday, go to do one thing, and I threw my back out, and I'm incapacitated for the whole All-Star break practically, Dean. It was crazy, man. Just you feel that pop. When you do the wrong thing, you get a little older, you feel that pop. You're cooked. So
straight to the IL, you're out with a back.
Yeah, and I was like, man, this can't be, because I have so much stuff I want to do. I got to do it. I got to figure out a way to do it. So, Dean, I did something I've never done before on Wednesday, the next day, day 2 of the pop back syndrome, which it's a herniated disc. But
did you hire somebody on Craigslist?
No, never done this before, Dean. But I was like, maybe something will work. I went and got acupuncture.
Oh, how did that turn out?
Surprisingly, Dean, I think it helped. I think it sped up the process of rehab. So, it's like going to Germany for the blood plasma switch over thing they do. I'm going to give it credit, man. I'm going to give it credit. I don't think it's just witchcraft and voodoo and fraudulent. I think the acupuncture has some true meaning there, man.
So you're feeling you're about 90%? You're can you still do stuff around the house now?
Oh yeah, for sure. By Thursday I was like, all right, we're gonna power through this now. I'm feeling better, Let's get some stuff going. I was just a little extra careful, but now we're Monday and I feel good. I'm about 90% now. So yeah, I think the acupuncture, I'm keeping it on my speed dial. Next time it happens, I'm gonna be there.
So now do you go now as a preventative? Is that all of a sudden you go once a month, or now it's just whenever something flares up? How does that work going forward?
I don't see myself going there once a month. I think it's just a when things pop up, they help you out. So I'm gonna do. That's what I got them on my speed dial. But I'm certainly not gonna drop $80 a month just for preventative, just in case. But obviously I'll definitely address some of these chat comments. No, Shannon, is not the old rub and tug. I didn't get a Deshaun Watson special. It was the real deal acupuncture. Although she was a bit aggressive, if you know what I mean. So that's all I'm gonna leave it at that. But sheesh.
That's gonna be. I mean, I'm glad you clarified because the people were genuinely concerned that was not like a sarcastic comment in chat. They really thought that there was a potential that's how it was going. Well, I'm glad to hear that your back is feeling better. 10 gamer going down. Oh, I mentioned it's Movie Monday. Movie Monday, the first clue I'll drop to the people. Chop. You've been what? You've been off the show for 2 weeks. Maybe you forgot how Movie Monday goes. It's possible. I think you know, but just in case, you get yourself a week free of RotoGrinders Premium if you tell me what movie I'm talking about. 5 individual clues will drop throughout the show. Going to go ahead and drop the first one right now. It's going to be scrolling at the bottom of the screen. And just tell me the Discord channel. Or most of the channels are free. Some are premium. This happens to be a free channel. That is the live stream chat channel. Tell me one guess per clue drop what movie I am talking about, with the first clue being Christina. Christina is the first clue. RotoGrinders.com/live stream chat in the Discord channel. Be the first to tell me. Get yourself a week free of RotoGrinders Premium. Or if you want, you can get scores and odds, dealer's choice. All right, Chopper. Yeah, we have this St. Louis team that I don't really love. Obviously they're in St. Louis at the biggest total on the board. They're facing, Austin Gomber, lefty there. Righty's going to follow up some potential pinch hit stuff. Not a good bullpen, obviously, there for the Rockies as well. There are some other totals in this slate that are hovering around just above 5. The Dodgers around 5 against David Festa. They've been scuffling though. Basically Ohtani and the rest of the guys have been pretty shaky. Compared to their reputations. Betts not having a great season. Freeman might not even play. He's dinged up. So he possibly doesn't crack the lineup. We'll see when that drops. But we're actually projecting no Freeman tonight for what it's worth. Will Smith and Dalton rushing. So both catchers were projecting to draw the starts. We'll see. That lineup is not out just yet, but it's 5 hours before the game starts. Diamondbacks almost a 5 total against Colton Gordon. Paredes almost definitely. He's gonna be on the lineup there for the Astros for a while. Chop, it is not Anchorman. I see that's your guess. You like to play along here. Anchorman is not the correct answer, but do appreciate the participation. 5 total on the other side of that Coors game as well for the Rockies. The Rockies have a 5 total facing Michael McGreevy. As far as other teams with a pretty big total, Shane Baz, although Brandon Lau is out of the lineup once again against Sean Burke, which I think is meaningful to some degree. But Chop, some slates I feel really good about. I have definitive thoughts for better or worse. Like sometimes I'm just off. It doesn't work out. I am wide open as far as this slate tonight, both pitching and hitting. I want to find a way to get away from St. Louis because I feel like that's going to be pretty chalky. Cash games, of course. You're playing cash games, load up in the Cardinals. That's how you're supposed to play that. But in tournaments, they're probably going to be over-owned, especially the ones I focus on, the single-lunchy, smaller field stuff. Although we are in the 222 tonight, which that looks like a fun contest tonight on DK. Braves have a 5 total as well against Hayden Birdsong. Birdsong really vulnerable versus lefties. It's just one of those weird slates. Maybe you feel otherwise, that I don't love anything really hitting-wise. Love things I like. And I definitely don't love anything pitching-wise. Everything is just kind of like a mishmash in the middle. I'm curious your thoughts. What is your screenshot? What is your overview? How are you seeing tonight's slate?
Yeah. I want to start off, Dean. I failed to mention this at the top of the show. I do want to say R.I.P. Theo Huxtable. He passed away apparently either yesterday or
apparently. Yeah, I saw that. That's pretty awful.
He's a pretty young guy, and I thought he had a little resurgence in his career, and he was doing well, and that sucks, man. But yeah, that sucks. As far as pitch, just generally overview here, I think there's plenty of pitch. There's pitching at all different price ranges you can go at. So I feel like it's going to be wide open. Yeah, I like stacking Coors Field. I like stacking, good, decent offensive teams coming into Coors Field. Sometimes that bites me, but a lot of times it does perfectly fine in the single entry and in the smaller fields and all that good stuff. So I'm not too much worried about it. In the large field, multi-entry stuff, like if I'm running just one lineup, I'd probably be more apt to get away from that game. But in multiple entry, if I'm running multiple entry in those big fields, I think I can still get a good piece of Coors Field, and I think that all of Coors Field is not going to be chalky. So that's the big thing. I think there's enough on tonight's slate, offensively and pitching wise, that things aren't going to fall into like some big massive chalk festival. I think there's all kinds of people are neglecting the actual Colorado offense, which has been better lately. So yeah, I think it goes all over the place, Dean. This is I don't really have to worry about ownership percentage today. I just think there's a lot of good pitching. I guess we're going to talk about it in a minute. So in all the price ranges, I think there's a lot of good hitting in the different price ranges, and I think this thing could go anywhere. So I'm not really. That's my screenshot. Is throw some stuff at a wall and hope it hits. Dean, check this out, man. I just discovered this today. You ready for this, Dean?
Sure.
Now, I can't find all my settings here. I can't do a lot of stuff. I'm going to try to get a little closer to the camera for you. Check this out, Dean. Just noticed this today. This is just the normal stuff right here, right? But then I can hit this touch my appearance. Look at that, man.
What am I supposed to be looking at right now? I don't see any difference.
No, watch. That's no touch my appearance. Touch my appearance. Makes me look 10 years younger.
Really?
Oh.
Okay.
That's no touch my appearance.
Oh, okay. Now I think I see it. Yeah,
touch my appearance.
I haven't messed with that. You know what? I've been hitting it this whole time, and that's why I look so youthful. I didn't want to tell anybody. You've exposed my big secret.
Yeah, I didn't know that, man. Very cool stuff. But yeah, StreamYard did a little makeover during the All-Star break, and now I can't find any of my stuff, man.
Yeah, I thought it was like the it's the same picture for a second there. I couldn't quite from The Office there at Creed. But all right. My general thought is like I don't really want anything that's going to be chalky, and I'm not terribly concerned with ownership stuff. But man, we're gonna talk pitchers, right? The most popular pitcher we're seeing right now, and our projections are kind of taking a little bit of a hedge. It seems like we're showing Zach Gallen as the most popular pitcher on the slate, who's more name than stats this season, right? Like he's had moments, but he's been more down than up. However, he's facing your Houston Astros, and an Astros lineup is going to be even worse with the absence of Paredes. You have no Jordan, obviously. Supposedly he's coming back soon. I guess he's hitting batting practice right now, so good for him. But DFS, we care about tonight and tonight only. Tonight he's not going to be in that lineup. It's going to be a slew of righties. That's just how it goes there. And then Taylor Trammell probably, Cooper Hummel, and Victor Caratini. Very little power. And Zach Gallen this year, he's kind of like neutral reverse splitsy. So like I generally don't love him against a bunch of righties. It's not something I'm really focused on. It's just that this Houston team, I know they had a good game yesterday versus Seattle in a tough ballpark, and good for them. But I just don't love Zach Gallen as chalk. Now, am I willing to play him? Sure, I guess, because who am I going to start? Especially on DK, we got to start two. George Kirby's pretty good, feels maybe a little bit overpriced, but I like him. Shane Baz, kind of a weather issue there. I want to keep an eye on that. We know what the pop-ups in Tampa. I want to see what Roth has to say, but theoretically, do like him against Chicago. Woodruff his numbers have been electric and good for him, but under the hood, especially the velocity, it's concerning. However, he's in Seattle, which, that's a ballpark that's forgiving. You can kind of get away with it. I just don't like anybody. I'm going to roster. If you don't submit pitchers, Chop, they just don't take it. You won't be able to submit your lineup. So you got to pick two of these guys. I don't really love any of it. As cheapies, I think you can roster both guys in the Texas Athletics game. I don't feel confident about Jack Leiter. I'm willing to do it. Jacob Lopez, I don't feel great about it, but I'm willing to do it. I really don't have a clear direction. I might just build out like, well, what stack do I want, and kind of work backwards. But you taking any hard stands as far as Gallen, who's probably going to be pretty popular? He's really cheap. He's 7.5. And taking on Houston without Paredes, it's not a good lineup. Woodruff has been great, but under the hood, like the velocity is down. We know he was out of baseball for over a year with injury. I like Baz. I don't love that ballpark. I don't love the like the matchup. I don't love the weather there. Not just the rain, but just the ballpark environment's not great for throwing baseballs. Yeah, I don't know. I think Kirby's probably my favorite if all things considered. But doing my rankings today for pitchers, I just felt like 1 through 6, 1 through 7 are kind of all the same. If you're going to bet on talent, Carlos Rodon, certainly has an upside, but Toronto's not necessarily the team I want to pick on. Gausman, the Yankees didn't roll out all their lefties. Like Bellinger's sitting and Rice is sitting. So I think the matchup's a little bit better today for Gausman than I anticipated. But I'm just counting the lefties right now for the Yankees. Judge is in there as far as the righties. Massive BBP, by the way. They faced each other like 50 plus times or so in the season in their career. Stanton's a righty, of course. Goldie's a righty. Volpe is a righty, and Peraza's a righty. And Gausman's got pretty dramatic splits. Almost 26% Ks versus righties. The ISO's really not been great, but the WOBA was much better. I mean, it has been worse, but I would say historically, you want to face righties. It hasn't necessarily been the case this season. I just thought it was a weird lineup of the Yankees, leaving out some of their key lefties, Bellinger and Rice. But I don't know, man. I say all that to say I really don't have a definitive plan with pitchers. Are you clearly focusing on this pitcher or that pitcher, or it's just like you say, throw stuff at the wall?
I kind of like pitching tonight, Dean. I kind of like some pitchers. I don't have like a definitive stand, not yet, because I haven't built my lineups yet, but I'll definitely have it narrowed down. But I like them. I like some. So Zach Gallen, this may be his last start in Arizona. Trade deadline's coming up, and they've talked about being sellers. And well, by the way, nobody has improved their trade value. Man, Arizona's like got very lucky with that. That guy got hot at just the right time. He may like return a massive haul of prospects just from being that hot.
And the Yankees, they really need a third baseman. They really need a third
baseman. You ain't lying on that one, Dean. They definitely do. So yeah, we'll see how that plays out. But I mean, Gallen's definitely in the mix. But so Woodruff is. I have to say he's one of my favorite. I was a little bit concerned about the velocity being down, but then I started digging into him a little bit more. Dean, he hasn't thrown a slider this year, which was a pitch he's used in the past. Instead, he switched it up to a cutter, which is a pitch he's never used before, and it's helping him. It's not a great pitch in general, but he keeps the hitters off balance enough. So I don't think they've caught up to that yet, and it's in a big ballpark, and it's a pretty mediocre offense when they're at home. Seattle is. So I don't mind Woodruff at all. I like him. Opposite him, I like Kirby in that game for similar reasons. I think it's a mediocre offense in a big pitcher-friendly ballpark, and I think Kirby's perfectly fine. Also, Dean, I want to play some Shane Baz too. I kind of want to play some Shane Baz. I think he's got on track now since he had his little rough month and a half or so he had, but he's back on track now. He's pitching well. The Chicago White Sox, they kind of started hitting the ball a little bit over the weekend after the All-Star break, but they're still not a good offense, and I think we could play some Baz here. I like that. I mean, I can go down the list, Dean. I've actually right now I'm down to 10 pitchers. I've cut my list down to 10 pitchers.
That's half the pitchers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You say you don't like anybody. I do like them. I do like a lot of these guys. I'm trying to figure out a way to cut it even more. It's going to be tough because I can make a case for a lot of these guys. I think Gausman, he's borderline to me because of the competition. So I don't know that I want to attack the Yankees. I'm going to give you my cheapie is Jacob Lopez, big strikeout guy, Texas. They came out the All-Star break looking pretty sharp here this past series, but I don't think that that's something that's going to hold up for them. So I like Lopez tonight to rack up some Ks. So yeah, there's all kinds of different.
Michael Hellman leading off like a 29-year-old journeyman. He's barely played any in the pros. Interesting that he's their starting leadoff hitter tonight. I agree. Texas has been, I don't know if you're going to say gutless, but they've certainly been one of the more gutless teams on the board. Lopez against lefties, 33% Ks, 26% Ks versus righties. So both sides of the Ks have been good. Vulnerable to power, righty power. Semion's been better of late. Garcia in the season hasn't been great versus lefties. I don't mind it. I don't mind Lopez just because, again, I didn't say I don't really love anybody. I don't really hate a lot of guys either. So I understand the reason why, almost everybody's in the pool, or at least half the people are making arguments to at least dip their toes in the pool tonight, because nobody's really separating themselves from the pack. So you got to kind of include a whole bunch of them. That's kind of my approach as well. What about, I saw in the chat, somebody threw out Ben Brown. Any interest in Ben Brown for the Cubs? They don't really push him too hard. 80 pitches is the projection. He was added later in the day. We weren't really sure who was going to pitch for Chicago. He does have an opener. Ryan Brassier is going to be the opener. So I guess it helps his win, possibility, extend him in the game. But if you're playing on FanDuel, if you're considering Brown, he would have no chance at a quality start if you're not starting the game. So if that makes a difference for you, I probably wouldn't consider him over there. But, is Brown somebody that's interesting to you? I'm trying to – is he amongst the 10? Is he kind of on the fringes of the 10?
No. I didn't – I took the Cubs guys out because it's hard for me to really invest a lot into a guy who's not even going to start because you kind of don't know. Like, what if it's not what we expect it to be? I like a guy to be starting, man. So I know he's going to get the, I like the check mark by his name. I know Ben Brown's okay. Anyway, he's not, doesn't set the world on fire anyhow. KC doesn't really strike out a lot. I don't know. So I don't think I'm going to go there. I just don't know what I'm going to get out of Ben Brown. So I'm
really good pitching weather is like the other thing that I want to kind of touch on. A huge sample chop, 180 games. 10-mile-per-hour wind blowing straight in from center field, so that subdues homers. Over the course of 180 games, 13%, 4.8% his far as runs. So, yeah. And you mentioned the Royals, they don't strike out a ton. They also don't hit homers. So,
Yeah, well, okay then. So we weren't going to get homers anyway. So all they do is put the ball in play, and so I don't think the wind necessarily. If you think the weather is really going to affect the ball that much, which it might. Look at the other side of that game. I like the other side of that game better on the mound. Noah Cameron. Yeah.
I keep saying like he's a fraud, but he keeps shoving that right in my face.
He's solid. Weather helping. There's not going to be any ownership on him. I don't think people want to, take on the Cubs too much. I think he's in my 10-man. I'm going to play him in cash. That's for sure. But he's in the 10-man rotation right now, like if that was the way I was going to go.
No PCA for Chicago, which, by the way, I think is kind of a negative for Cameron because he strikes out so much versus lefties. Depending how you look at it, it's sort of a risk-reward thing. This offense, though, tons of power for the Cubs and pretty contact-heavy with the exception of a couple guys, Bush, Swanson, and Happ. Suzuki, one of the better hitters in all baseball this season versus lefties, over a 300 ISO, 400-plus WOBA. But yeah, I can't say he's not in the list, Cameron. I'm not going there, but I hear you. I understand why you're considering him. Let's see, is there anybody else of note? Anybody else we should stress? You taking any big stands? Definitively in, definitively out, or anything against the grain as far as pitchers?
Yeah, maybe. So So I've talked about 7 guys that I have in my pool. The other 3 I'll just throw out there is a Senga. Probably won't play him, but he's worth a look. Dustin May, worth a look, just because.
Also not starting May.
Yeah, I don't like that. He's not. He'd be a little bit higher on my list if he was starting. I felt that, but he's worth a look. Why? Because Minnesota's terrible on offense. They stink, man. They can barely get it done in Coors Field. But the one that I may, the nice price tag here, pretty decent matchup if you get these guys away from home. Jack Leiter.
Oh, it's Leiter.
Don't hate it. His dad played in the Major League Baseball. Did you know that?
Yes, I'm aware of that. Marlin, Yankee, Toronto. Yeah, Al. Yeah, we know about Al Leiter. You mentioned Senga. His issue is like how many pitches they can let him throw. He threw 67 pitches his first time out in like a month. What does he get to? 80? Maybe 80? You're begging for 80-ish. So I know he's been awesome this year when he's pitched, but I just don't trust it. I don't know what the ceiling is there as far as Senga. Can he go 5 or 6? If he's efficient, sure, but he's got to thread that needle. Anything else you want to mention? What do you got?
The only other thing I would mention, I would throw in, you said any big any big guys I X'd out. I'm definitely Xing out Carlos Rodon tonight. That's
Okay.
That's definitely a guy I have no interest in.
Just too expensive?
Expensive, and I don't like the matchup. And Rodon has these bouts throughout a year where sometimes he just doesn't look as sharp, and I think that's one of those time frames right now. So yeah, I'm not on Rodon at all tonight. So hopefully that
8
doesn't
righties
bite me.
he's facing. Eight righties and Loperfido in the 9 hole.
So hopefully that doesn't bite me. But I think Toronto's picking up their offense here. They're looking pretty decent here these past few weeks, and that's a big series, man. That's for the division lead right there. So should be interesting.
We got the Cardinals, by the way. We'll go ahead and drop that second clue. The second clue is scrolling. It is Bird. Christina and Bird are our first 2 clues for Movie Monday. Get in that Discord. RotoGrinders.com/Discord, the live stream chat channel. I did see somebody guessing more than once. Let's try to keep it to one guess. One guess per clue drop. And yeah, all right. One guess per clue drop, but no multi-entering. This is not FanDuel or DraftKings. One guess per clue. Okay. By the way, you got St. Louis. The Cardinals lineup just dropped. It's Donovan, Herrera, Contreras, Burleson starting left on left in the 4-hole, Arenado, Wynn, Walker, Pages, and Scott the second. So that means that Sajasi, who was projected to start, is not starting. So cross him off the list. He was one of the cheapies that was potentially going to crack that lineup for St. Louis. You want to give me a summary here, Chop, as far as how we are dealing with pitching tonight?
Summary. So my summary would be, I think there's a lot of different ways you can go about this tonight. I think there's expensive options or type of the price range guys like Woodruff and Kirby and Shane Baz. I think you could go cheap. You could go double cheap. Gallen and Lopez and Leiter. And I think there's all kinds of options in these ranges for just about anybody, and whatever you want to do with your offense, I think you can do, because the pitching is going to allow you to do it with the different price ranges. So usually on DraftKings, I'm a get me one expensive guy, then try to save a little bit on SP2. Tonight, I think you could get 2 legit solid pitchers in the cheap price range. So pitching, I think it could be all over the board, and I think there's a lot of good pitchers, but I don't think there's any great pitching. So I think maybe it's not a lot of opportunity cost, but I think it should be very, very fun, a fun time to pick out 2 pitchers here tonight on draft. I can't wait to get forward after the show, Dean, and start making my lineup, because I think it's going to come together really nicely.
Yeah, I don't really have much to add to that. If I get some clean weather, I think Baz is somebody I'm going to try to get to there. I feel like he's got a pretty good shot at getting that win, assuming he sticks around, assuming there's no pop-ups in Tampa. Roth coming on about 40 minutes or so. He'll give some clarity. Tampa, we know how Tampa works. We know the weather works in Florida, especially in the Tampa area. You don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes, it'll change on you. They have those pop-ups that come out of nowhere, but he'll do his best to tell you what's going on. Last we saw, was this updated? Let me see if he actually updated his article. It was green, yellow. Yeah, still green, yellow there for Tampa. But, we like to pick on Chicago. I wanted to see that lineup specifically. We didn't really focus that. 21.7% as far as the Ks. So it's a pretty contact-heavy lineup for Chicago today, and kind of backloaded with the Ks as well, which is not ideal. But, the collection of hitters, not terribly intimidating. Luis Roberts been better of late, and good for him. And he's maybe this is some sort of motivation to boost whatever trade value he has right now. Theoretically, he's going to be on the move in the next, 10 days? Is that the trade deadline? 9-10 days away? I think it's 10 days. End of the month, I want to say like July 31st, I'm pretty sure is when the trade deadline happens. We're not officially on Hug Watch, but these are things that may happen. Just going to keep an eye on, players getting scratched as we close in on the trade deadline. But we're going to talk about some stacks here in a second. Before we do that, man, we have a professional guesser here in chat, because Big Z, who's won this several times, just 2 clues, Chop. 2 clues is all that was needed. There are 3 more on layaway. We'll play it out for fun. But shout out to Big Z there in chat, who took down today's Movie Monday, which is Christina and Bird. For those that say the clues are not good enough and they're terrible clues, well, Big Z might disagree. Okay, Chop, you made today's board for tiers. I don't know what the category is, so set it up. What do you got? Tell us what today's tier board category is.
You know, Dean, I kind of feel like maybe Big Z is a plant.
You think we're in cahoots, me and Big Z?
Maybe RotoGrinders doesn't want to give away the actual packages, and
why not? What this doesn't cost them anything. I'm debunking your conspiracy right away.
It doesn't cost them. So
just to turn on the faucet for Big Z, what does that cost RotoGrinders? Nothing.
Oh, you know, maybe Big Z would have subbed to it if we didn't give him a free one. But anyway, somebody's going to get a free sub, so we give it to Big Z, and then maybe it is just you in cahoots with Big Z. You don't want to get found out, and then you want your clues to be good, but then I don't know, Dean. There's a lot going on there. There's just people out there talking. I'm getting DMs as we speak.
I don't know. I don't. Can you show me the screenshots? I don't believe this is true.
I can't get this. The StreamYard's messed up for me. I don't know what's going on. I would if I could.
You see, here's the thing: if somebody gets a taste and like they this content's spectacular, and they have it for a week or so, maybe they're like, hey, you know what? I don't want to lose this. I can't win the movie thing every single week, but I'm going to go ahead and start paying for it because I think it has some value. Have you thought about that, Chop?
Well, I've thought about it for a long time, Dean. It was on my mind during the entire All-Star break.
While you were getting your acupuncture.
Yeah.
All right. Today's category for tiers, what do we got?
So I don't know if you're familiar with this, Dean, but today is National, amongst many things, it is National Junk Food Day.
Okay. They didn't know?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, national everything every day. National Junk Food Day. So I just kind of tiered up some junk foods, Dean. You know, that's all I did. Nothing fancy. Just tear up some junk foods for the people.
When you say junk food, are you saying like meals, or are you saying like candy or desserts, or is it all? It's all over the place.
Just junk food. Like the National Day
junk
doesn't.
Like snacks, but you could say
the National Day doesn't specify like exactly what a junk food is. I think you just kind of use your imagination of what you think a junk food is. Whatever parameters you have for yourself. Junk food could be bad, savory food, could be terribly unhealthy, sweet food, whatever it is. Combination of all that stuff. So just junk food, Dean. It's subjective.
Chip in chat says National Junk Food Day. Who makes these days? Yeah, I mean, there's a lobby. The junk food people, it's certainly a conglomerate. The junk food lobby is very strong, and they made sure. But you got to give us July 21st this year. It's a big day for holidays. I'm curious to see your board. I don't know if you watched the show last week, and this isn't necessarily junk food, but just what do you think about Bobby Gomes? You're aware of Bobby Gomes?
Yeah, I know Bobby Gomes.
He said he doesn't like Chinese food as like just a blanket statement. Not like I don't like lo mein, I don't like rice, I don't like the chicken or the pork. I'm not surprised. Bobby's from Boston. Right? Bobby's from Boston. What is that? That explains it.
I don't know if you've heard the rumors about Boston or not, but
I've been a couple times. I don't know what it's to do with the. Kirkwood's also from Boston, and he likes it.
Have we released? The board's not been released yet, right? There's some people in chat. There's some people in chat that are like practically reading my mind here, man. It's crazy. How are they guessing? So, like Derek says, beef jerky. I mean, I didn't put beef jerky on the list, but I debated beef jerky at the bottom of that list. At the bottom of the list.
Well, the bottom means like it's bad. That's not something it's not worth
but
the
I
calories.
just didn't like junk food. I just didn't think people would throw out the word beef jerky and associate that with junk food, but they did.
Debbie getting a little bit of a shout out there. Twinkies, some gummy bears, some cookies. I guess we'll reveal the board now, Chop. Tell the people what your power ranking is for junk food.
I've said it before, Dean. I love me some chips and salsa, chips and dip, chips and guacamole. I'll take a bag of potato chips if they're a good flavor, and I'll just eat them straight up, like watching a game. I just like chips. So chips is a junk food. I can't shake chips. So got to have some chips. Got to put that. How about a delicious ice cream sandwich? Can I say, isn't that a throwback to your youth, the childhood, an ice cream sandwich? Like you get this delicious, good ice cream, and you put it between two pieces of this sweet textured, I don't know. They say it's kind of like a cookie, but It's just, I don't know what it is, man. It's just so delicious. Ice cream sandwich.
Can I ask you a question?
Talk to me, Goose.
You say chips, right? Chips is all the chips. You said
all chips, nacho chips, potato chips.
Say okay, yeah. And I hear you. But why'd you say ice cream sandwich? Why'd you just say ice cream? Why limiting to the sandwich?
Because not all ice cream is gonna be what number 2 for me. But ice cream sandwiches are number. Now, just basically almost all chips are going to be number 1. Chips.
Those pickle chips. You like the pickle flavored chips?
I'll eat some pickle chips, Dean. I like it all. I like chips. I like to just snack on chips.
I gotcha.
No, I eat it. But ice cream sandwiches, like there's something about it. Ice cream is so good. Pizza rolls, I put in the middle, kind of neutral on it. They are what they are. Little Debbie snacks, I kind of outgrew them by the 3rd grade. So. But that surprised me, like Little Debbie, like that's such a random thing. But then in chat here, somebody says Little Debbie. Who was it? Butthole? Butthole says Little Debbie's like 5 minutes ago. Like what is he?
If you're gonna have junk food, have good.
Wait a minute, we don't know who Butthole is, right?
That's my other.
But how does he have access to? Maybe he has access to my tier board, and that's why he mentioned Little Debbie's. So is Butthole really Steve? Or somebody behind the scenes, because we don't know who Butthole is. You never know, but Butthole.
When Steve was on leave, Butthole was still here, I believe. So I'm not to debunk your theory, unless he was just trying to really sell that he's not.
Yeah. Steve was on leave, but Steve wasn't like up in a hospital with his legs in, in a cast or anything. Like he could still get on his computer and type, and maybe Butthole was even more active while Steve was gone, and maybe that's a little sign that no producing duties equal more time for the chat. I don't know. I'm just saying, but Little Debbie snacks kind of outgrow them now. The zebras, I'll still eat it. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, it's all good. But the dead last for me, gummy anything. I don't like the gummy. I don't like the gummy stuff, man. I know that's the trend
across the board.
Across the board, that's the trend. Everybody's into the gummy candies and all that. I don't like the gummy stuff. It's terrible stuff. Just awful. And it probably sits in your stomach for 8 years like bubble gum does. I don't know.
Even like the gummies that alter, not necessarily for the taste, but altering your mind. You're into that as well. That's also off the board, you're saying. Yeah. That's something some people are touting those.
Yeah, that's fine. I get it, but like there's about 7 or 8 different ways you could get the same substance in your body without having to like consume some nasty, chewy, disgusting gummy product.
What do you think of gummy vitamins? You must hate gummy vitamins.
Oh God, no! Please keep me away. Keep me away from the gummies. Could you give me a straight up tablet?
We're showing off the Fat Boy ice cream. Is that what you're talking about right there, Chop? The Fat Boy
no, ice cream sandwich? I see a sandwich right there. Those are some good looking sandwiches right there. I ain't gonna lie. Oh, look at that! Look at that puppy. That's almost like a cinnamon cracker sandwich. I like that.
What's a cinnamon cracker sandwich? Is that a real thing? Is that something you made up?
No. Well, that's what it looked like. It looked like, the ice cream sandwiched in between 2 cinnamon crackers. I'm sure that's good. I don't think I've ever had one, but it sounds good.
All right. Let's go ahead. Let's throw some teams and some tiers. We have 10 games. We have 20 teams. We'll drop that third clue for Movie Monday. The third clue is 3. 3 is the third clue. Christina Bird 3. We do already have a winner. We're playing out the string for fun here. Chop the first game, the Yankees and the Blue Jays, 8.5 total. Kind of a coin toss here. Yankees are slight favorites. One of the better arm talent pitchers is Carlos Rodon, but tough matchup here against Toronto, a slew of righties. Guy who's been, pretty good pitcher, not what he once was. I was wrong about the splits, stressing the splits. I wouldn't really care so much about splits. I still thought the Yankees were going to start some of their lefties here. The back end's not necessarily spectacular. That's the deal with the Yankees. They have too many hitters a couple days. A couple guys got to sit pretty much every single game. I feel like this game's going to be somewhat ignored because the pitchers are pretty good. You tell me, Yankees and Blue Jays.
Yeah, Dean. So the Yankees against Gausman are going to go in tier 3. I don't necessarily like them, and I probably won't have a single Yankee in my lineup. But you just never know about Gausman. Sometimes he's off. Just sometimes he has these terrible games, and so I'll put him in tier 3. Just for Toronto. Although I don't like Rodon, doesn't mean I want to stack against him. So I can just almost scratch out this game in general on my board, almost. And say that Toronto's in a tier 4 for me. I don't want to attack Rodon, but I just don't see. I don't want to play him at all either, though.
So, all right, we have the Yankees in pizza rolls. Oh, like pizza rolls or bagel bites, Chop?
Are you asking me which one I would prefer?
Yeah.
Uh,
I feel like it's not close.
Pizza rolls.
Oh, I think it's bagel bites.
Well, can I just say, Dean, I have to be honest with you. I can't remember ever having a bagel bite. I'm sure I have, but I can't remember. I can't remember ever having a bagel bite. Yeah.
That's today's poll question, by the way. We'll set that up. Bagel bites, pizza rolls. I don't know. If we got to get producer Steve some more work, I suppose. Steve says there's not enough in a pack, but and like don't make them. If you're gonna don't make them in the microwave. Like then what's the point? Like that's not the way you're supposed to make them. Be a little patient, and they'll turn out much better in like the oven or something like that. All right. We did get the Dodgers, by the way. Freeman is in. That's Betts, Ohtani, Smith, Freeman, Teoscar, Conforto, Pages, Kim, and Edmund in the 9-hole. Buxton back for Minnesota. Minnesota, we got Buxton, Castro, Larnick, Jeffers, Clemens, Correa, Royce Lewis, who woke up over the weekend, Wallner, and Harrison Bader. So slowly getting most of the lineups for today. The Angels are in New York for the Mets. Kodai Senga, his second start after being away for a month. So somewhat of a pitch count presumed here, maybe 80-ish or so. Not too much, maybe enough to make me stay away. Good ballpark to throw baseballs in. Got a really cheap Mike Trout on FanDuel. He's like $3K over there. Seems too cheap. Tyler Anderson on the other side, historically kind of reverse splitsy. So I wouldn't necessarily be afraid of rostering the lefties here. You tell me, though, the Angels and the Mets.
Mike Trout's been about $3,000 for the better part of 2 months now. So that salary is not moving.
No.
And let's see. I had a question from Cam the Man. What I think about the Woodruff Lopez pairing? I like it, man. I like them both. I think that's a good, solid pairing to kick off your lineup. As far as the tiers here, New York and LA, the Angels, I'm gonna put in tier 5. I don't necessarily like this matchup for them. None of it. So I mean, they have been better lately. I'm not gonna, they've been better, but I don't want to do not tonight. The Mets are the complete opposite, Dean. That's our first tier 1 team. Oh, like Steve, I forgot Stevie's back. Good for him. I'm doing this for Stevie. Mets. Yeah, I like that. I like this offense tonight against the left-hander. I like it a lot. I like even the lefties in this lineup against left-handers are pretty good. So I like the total package, man. I like the Mets quite a bit tonight.
I know later on in the show we're going to have the your BBP suggestion of the day, as well as the knockers, of course. I don't know if you saw, the algorithm is confused her. Soto versus Tyler Anderson, reverse splits Tyler Anderson. Pretty terrible. 20 at-bats, 3 hits, 3 singles. That's it. No extra base hits, a couple strikeouts, 5 walks. I mean, I don't care. I would still play him. I'm guessing he's not the BBP suggestion of the day, but you'll have to stay tuned for that. All right, 2 games down, 8 more to go. Crunch time coming in about 30 minutes or so. You got Derek Carty, CEO of the Bats and the Blitz, as well as Stevie. You got Stevie coming in. Kevin Roth, Chief Meteorologist Kevin Roth as well. Again, around 6:15 on the East Coast. It's the Giants. The Giants are in Atlanta, 9.5 total. The Braves do have a total just above, hovering around 5, taking on Hayden Birdsong. Birdsong has been really, really vulnerable to lefties. Matt Olson, I think, looks excellent today. We've seen him come alive of late. Profar leading off, the switch hitter. Acuna in the 3-hole. They have both catchers, Baldwin and Murphy. Michael Harris even homered the other day. Michael Harris, one of the worst hitters in baseball this season. Massive downgrade over previous seasons. They certainly need to have a good second half if they have any plans of making any kind of move. Although they might not. They might just go ahead and trade off somebody like Sean Murphy, because I don't know if they need him, with the future being Drake Baldwin. And then the Giants, pretty good total ballpark bump for them, getting out of San Fran into Atlanta. Bryce Elder, not necessarily a pitcher we're afraid of. You tell me though, Chopper. Giants and the Braves, what tier are they cracking?
So there was a report yesterday that said, Harris and Murphy and Albies could be on the block at the end of the season, not at the trade deadline. Which for me, I don't know. Like they don't have a chance at the play. Like if you can get a good return for them and you're willing to trade them anyway, do it at the trade deadline. You know what I mean?
Who's trading for their value though is so they have good contracts if they're good. Like Albies is signed.
Whoa.
I think Albies signed like an 8-year, $100 million deal.
I mean, Michael Harris is still like 24 with a great contract and a left-handed bat in the outfield. And there's a couple
awesome defender.
There's a couple of teams who need that big time. So, yeah, I'd like to see him trade him, man. Put him on the block.
But his bat died. His bat is really.
It did. But somebody's got to think they can maybe get a little resurgence out of it or something. But as far as this game is concerned, both of these teams. Okay. We got our producer might be in the bathroom. I'm not sure, but I don't know if he's going to put these guys up here yet. But both of these teams are in tier 2 for me. San Fran's in tier 2 against Elder's just not good. He just hadn't been that good. So I think I think you could get a piece of Elder and stack against him. Atlanta picking it up offensively just a little bit. Certainly Hayden Birdsong's been awful lately. So both of these teams are tier 2 teams.
Yeah, 267 ISO versus lefties in the season for Birdsong. The sample is not massive. And also Woba close to 400, 388. That is really bad. So I really like the lefties here, especially in Atlanta. Obviously, for the salary, Acuna for sure. Throw him in the stack. We talked about Albies, who might be breaking out of his slump. He's been out of a slump, it seems like, for over a year at this point. But he's flashed stuff of late. Alvarez is just really cheap. Nacho Alvarez. He's in there for Riley. Riley probably coming back at some point later on this week, but no Austin Riley, which certainly hinders this Atlanta stack. And Nick Allen, I would pretty much never play him. He just has zero power in that bat. A 32 ISO on the season and in 213 plate appearances versus righties is pretty brutal. Just a slap hitter at this point. We'll drop that fourth clue. We're just playing out the string. The fourth clue is duck. Christina, bird, 3, and duck. That is your first 4 clues. There's one more to go if you don't quite know what today's Movie Monday is just yet. White Sox and the Rays. Shane Baz home against Sean Burke. Tampa heavy favorite here, minus 220. No Brandon Lau, which is kind of a bummer for me. I really liked him, assuming he cracked it, but I think it was a plantar fasciitis situation over the weekend, so he's not in there. Love Junior Caminero, one of the best young hitters in baseball. Love this ballpark as well. It's going to be in the high 80s, wind blowing out, so a good spot for some power. Simpson leading off the speedster. Diaz has also come alive as well of late, so certainly Toronto, Tampa to me looks pretty interesting from a stack perspective. I just don't love a lot of the individual pieces, but Caminero, Aranda, Diaz, I don't mind Simpson. He can get there just with the wheels, a couple steals, some runs. You tell me though, Chop. White Sox, Rays?
Yeah, the White Sox. We'll start off with the White Sox against Baz, who I think is pretty good. I don't, maybe they get to him a little bit. Maybe they do some things. I don't love it, though. That's a tier 4 team for me. I just can't see myself stacking the White Sox with all these good offenses on this slate. One of those offenses that are really good being this Tampa team, which is going to go up into tier 1. Another tier 1 team for me. I like this matchup against Burke. He's not great. Walk a lot of guys, lots of fly balls. It's a very, very hitter-friendly ballpark in general. What is it? Steinbrenner Little League Field is what this is. And in addition to that, you get some good weather. Can I pull up my stadium report for today, D?
Yeah, go for it. What do you got?
My stadium report. Where is it at? Steinbrenner Field. Yeah, we're getting some wind blowing out. Good warm weather. Yeah, we're golden here. So you already got a good ballpark with some decent weather and a bad pitcher. It's a tier 1 stack.
All right, so tier 1 for Tampa hanging out with the Mets. We have 6 more games to go. Moving on, it's the Athletics. The Athletics in Texas. I know we talked about Leiter and Lopez both being in play in part because they're cheap enough. You feel like we can possibly get away with it as far as the pitchers, but both these offenses, about a 4 total in Texas, games out of Sacramento. So big downgrade for ballpark hitting environment for the Athletics. We did mention Michael Hellman is leading off for Texas. Feels like a pinch hit risk on layaway once Lopez exits the game. 29-year-old. He did show some power and some speed in the minors. Speaking of showing power in the minors, and now it's finally equating to the majors. Kurtz has just been out of out of this world for the last 40 games or so, whatever it is. He got off to a rough start, first 15 games, but since then he's really turned it on. And I don't think we're necessarily afraid of Jack Leiter. I like the athletic side here a little bit, despite the ballpark is not nearly as appealing. I assume the roof is going to be closed. It's got to be scalding in Texas, right, Chop? You got boots in the ground. I know you're not right around the corner, but I'm guessing the roof is closed there.
It's not scalding at all, dude. Surprisingly, I'm actually incredibly shocked at how mild the weather is for July in Texas this past week or so. It's crazy.
It's 85 in Arlington, I'm saying. No, wait, 95. So I guess you're lucking out. It's in the 90s here for me in South Florida.
93 here, 95 Arlington. But
what's scalding? Is 90 not scalding to you?
It should, scalding. No, this is mild. It should be in the hundreds already, and it's crazy.
Well, we have different definitions of scalding. That's what I figured out. Scorching.
It's okay.
90 scorching.
90. That's what my bearded dragon bathes at. 90 degree.
You got a bearded dragon?
I brought him on the show before. Maybe you weren't here for that.
No, I feel like I remember now. I'm getting a flashback. Yeah, that's right. Okay, one of these days we gotta incorporate the bearded dragon into some sort of gimmick. But I guess you already have plenty of gimmicks.
I don't know if I can do that anymore, man.
What do you mean?
At some point, Gus, that's the bearded dragon's name, Gus, just felt like he could just take a dump anywhere. Like, he used to not do that. He used to confine it to just his cage,
Yeah.
But if he's out running around out of the cage, he would never do it. Like, he's doing it a lot here this past 6 months or so. So I'm not.
How big is Gus?
Gus is probably about I don't know, 10 inches maybe. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. I just wasn't sure if like a couple feet bearded dragon just wandered around the Chop household.
Oh, no, you got to keep no, because I got a dog too, and you never know how that's going to mix. You got to keep eyes on Gus at all time, but yeah, I don't need him crawling on my shoulder and then dropping a deuce during the show, man. It would be terrible. Like, because bearded dragon feces is might be the worst smelling feces of any animal out there, man.
You got to do that awful. Power rankings next. That's your next power rankings.
Awful, man. But little known fact, Dean. Little known fact here. Texas at Oakland, and the KC at the Cubs are the only two games tonight that start at the same time.
Okay. I mean, it's a fact. I don't know if it's helpful in any way. It's little.
Well, I see the thing.
You say that like it's profound.
I put my games in. I put my games in order, pre-show, in order.
Okay.
As what you're gonna call them off, so that I have it ready to go at the like right away. I don't have to struggle with anything. So I put it in order. So when games start at the same time, then I'm left with the guessing game. Which one is he gonna call on first? Well, I guess wrong here, but those were the only two that started at the same time, so it was pretty easy.
Well, here's a little known fact. I use the RotoGrinders lineup page. I just kind of work off that.
Okay. Lineup page. I've gone by lineup HQ, and you don't go by lineup HQ. You go by lineup page. So that's where you got me at. But
I use HQ, but I don't use it for the lineup stuff.
Yeah.
I like
you ought to, Dean. You ought to, because I think that's simpler. I think that would work better.
I bounce back and forth. I have more than one page opened.
Okay. Anyways, Oakland, Texas. I like both these pitchers. I really do. Doesn't mean you can't stack against them, because they both have their major flaws here. So I'm neutral on both these offenses. Either one of these guys could come out and have a terrible game, although I like both of them. But the offenses are both going to go in tier 3 here. I don't have much of an opinion on them.
Okay, let's move along. Next game on the board, according to the RotoGrinders lineup page, it's telling me it's the Royals and the Cubs. Noah Cameron taking on Brassier and Brown, 7.5 total. Not the best hitting environment we talked about before with the wind blowing in. It's going to be in the 70s. Cameron's been good so far this season. We mentioned no PCA. It's not just left on left, but apparently he's dealing with a knee. I don't think it's anything terribly serious, just of note. Again, I don't think either one of these offenses are going to be, rostered. You tell me if you're interested in the Royals and the Cubs.
Well, so KC, we start off with KC. I hate this setup for their offense. They're probably not even that good of an offense anyway. We've said it before. I hate this setup. Your first 3 batters in that order are going to get an incredibly difficult first at bat. You're almost going to waste 25% of your at bats from those first 3 guys going against an opener who's pretty good. So then you're going to get a pretty good guy coming in after him for bulk innings. Yeah, KC's a 5. I don't want it. Like, it's all about at bats, man. You only get 4 roughly, Dean. Most of the time, you only get 4 at bats to do anything in fantasy here. You're going to waste one of them? Nah, that's too much. So I don't want that. On the flip side, Chicago, I'll put them in tier 3. I like Cameron. I like him and I'd rather roster Cameron than a full Cubs stack, but I'll put him in tier 3 just because the offense is really good. It is accomplished this year. It does have big time power in it, even without PCA, but I'll put him in tier 3.
All right, let's talk about the game in Coors. It's McGreevy taking on Austin Gomber at 11.5 total, 6.5 team total for the Cardinals, 5 total for Colorado. St. Louis is starting with Donovan, Herrera, Contreras, Burleson, Arenado, Wynn, Jordan Walker, maybe some pinch hit risk there. Gomber, the lefty, starting almost definitely a righty's going to follow him. Pedro Pajes, and then Victor Scott the second. For Colorado, you have Moniak, Tovar, Goodman, Beck, McMahon, Doyle, Fernandez, who's crazy cheap. No, actually, he's a little more expensive than I thought he was. Arcia, I was thinking of Amador. Amador is 2.5. It falls off pretty quickly for Colorado. Goodman certainly has some power. But, how are we handling Coors? One of the bigger forks in the road as far as tonight's slate.
There's no fork in the road, Dean. There's no fork at all. You play guys from this game. You don't have to avoid this game. If you think it's going to be a good game for some offense, you play some guys. If you think some guys are in good matchups, you play them. I mean, in baseball, I've never really, on big slates like this, 10 games plus, I just don't see the ownership is never like so high that you can't, every once in a while you might get somebody, maybe it comes in somebody egregiously mispriced, but for the most part in baseball, ownership kind of levels out, man. Not like basketball for sure. But in this particular game, I think this is a good offensive game. Colorado, for me, is a tier 2 team. They've gone to more of a youth movement here as the season went on, and I like some of those the young hitters are really they're pretty good, man. And not to mention the little bit of veterans they got in there are not bad either. So I think Colorado's improving on offense, and they're at home in pretty decent hitting weather. Vegas knows.
Moniak is the weirdest one. Like how he's been amazing against righties.
It's kind of weird, but I don't know if you read the survey today, or did I even put it in the survey? I don't even know if I put it in the survey. The guy is a former number 1 overall pick. Like, it's not like the pedigree hasn't been there. Like, it was there, and he just didn't. And then he got with a really bad organization. Maybe he's figured things out with a better organization now. Maybe. So
it's a Profar situation, is what you're suggesting, maybe.
No,
that was
no, Dean. No. Now, this is a former number. Like, there's talents always.
Profar was a former number 1 who had his career year at 29. Yeah, Profar was like a number 1. He was a number 1 prospect in baseball many years ago.
Yeah. He was with Texas for a while. He wasn't bad. Like, he had a career year with San Diego, but then they're doing that with Gavin Sheets too. So maybe, like organizations and what they see on tape and helping you out. That's called development. And you got that, and you got the young guys and Moniak and McMahon. I think he hit a home run over the weekend. Maybe he's getting hot. I don't mind them. So they're a tier 2 team for me. I think there's some pieces there you can stack. St. Louis is a tier 1. I'm not going to fight a 6.5 team total just to be different. Like, they're a tier 1 team. How you want to stack your 3, 4, or 5 guys is up to you. And if you want to get away from some of the chalkier options, you can. They've got, like, you want to know the way you get away from chalk, like immediately make your lineup different, like from almost everybody, spend $5,500 on a catcher. That's what you can do with St. Louis. And you're going to make your stack different because people don't put expensive catchers in their stack for the most part. And that's arguably their best hitter on that team. So, yeah, they're a tier 1.
Do you want to drop the 5th clue here, Chop, for Movie Monday? For those that are still playing, we already have a winner. Shout out to Big Z. With the 5th clue, Chop, is Rub. Clue number 1 is it works with your Christina was clue number 1. Bird, clue number 2. The 3rd clue is 3. 4 is Duck. and 5 is rub. Feel free to fire off some guesses there, Chop, whenever you have a second. I know you're multitasking and giving some analysis here on the show as well.
No, I should mention no more guesses for me today, Dean. Somebody got it. Somebody got it. I just it takes the steam off, man.
Well, you don't know the answer. It's still fun to play along, right? You can get on the podium. You don't have to be first, but in any event, no pressure. I know you like to either win or go home. Do want to mention, if you didn't have to get yourself a week free of RG Premium, you could just go ahead and pay for it. You could pay for some RG Premium, and right now we're sweetening the deal. We're hooking you up a little bit. Obviously, what's 5 weeks? Well, what's the official number? When does football start? Is it like 60 days? When do you officially get
college starts in 5 weeks.
Yeah,
so
college.
NFL is usually a week, 2 weeks after that.
So if you commit to 6 months, 6 months would give you the entire football season: football, baseball, basketball, hockey, NHL, NBA. You mentioned you're going to get all that. Basically, your sub wouldn't really start until September 1st, right? So you're going to get everything free from now until September 1st. The golf, MMA, MLB, whatever else is still in season. Not the best time for sports per se, but you get it all for free, and your sub would not expire until March 1st. So you get access to all the projections, all the articles, SimLabs, the optimizer, all the data. You get all that, all the goods. If we're enticing you to, if you're sitting around waiting for football, there's no reason to sit around and wait, because we're giving you for free until the 22nd. So you have until, I believe, tomorrow this expires. So if you're interested, check out the link in the description. Okay. Knockers and BEP suggestion, they're on layaway. We got to talk about the Brewers and the Mariners. There are 3 games to go. This is one of them. Kirby taking on Woodruff, 2 of the better pitchers in the mound. We mentioned Woodruff, who's been spectacular this fall sample.
I need to stop you right there, Dean. According to my records, the next game should be Arizona and Houston.
Well, they're both 940.
Are they?
Those are both 9. So actually, your fun fact was wrong. Is that they're both 940 starts?
My fun fact is wrong.
But I'm with Chop. The Houston game was next. If you're going on lineup HQ,
thank you.
So they're both 940 starts. We'll talk about your Astros and Diamondbacks in a second, but let's first knock out the Brewers and the Mariners. 6.5 total. You mentioned your bearded dragon, takes big dumps. I guess your bearded dragon's a big fan of Kyle Rowley. So, big dumper here, Kyle Rowley. You can always play him.
Magical for sure. Year, home run derby and everything. Magical, Dean.
1 foot. He I don't know if you saw the home run derby. He beat Rooker by 1 foot in the tiebreaker. I'm not mad about it at all, but I had all the other 4 guys in an exacta box that, if Rooker moves on. Not mad about it. A little bit. I'm still a little bit upset. I'm still a little bummed about it. Rooker was mad about it too. He wanted $1 million, right? Don't you get $1 million if you win that? I think you won $1 million. But you tell me. The Brewers and the Mariners. Yeah, it wasn't a foot. It was an inch. I think it was actually an inch. Oh, it makes it even worse.
So, Dean, this is pretty simple right here, all right? Number one, let me get this out of the way. Both of these teams are tier 5 teams. Okay? Don't want any piece of these offenses. So, but we're going to spend the time instead of analyzing it, Dean. I need to do another poll if it's possible. I don't even know if it's possible. But I want to do another poll, Dean. I need to know, and this is an ever-changing thing. Maybe I'll change it next week too. Do we like Chop's late inning leverage report, or do we like Chop's stack stiflers? Because I got my stack stifler. Dean, you're on mute.
I like stack stifler. That's what's behind door number 3. I've never seen that before. I feel like you're going to debut that.
Stack stifler. It's the same thing. It's recognizing a fantastic bullpen arm. In this case, you get past the starting pitchers, you come in, and this is what you got to face. If it's a close game, this guy's going to stifle your stacks. So I want to highlight a guy today, Dean, for Seattle. Left-handed pitcher named Gabe Spires. I don't know if you've watched any of his work this year. It's been pretty good. Pretty good, Dean.
Yeah.
2.83 xFIP, the standard 34% K rate. Any of these good arms are going to be below 3 xFIP, 30+% strikeout rate. If you're not there, then you're not a real big arm. But this guy's got, I think his best pitch probably the 83 mile per hour slider that he comes in. It comes in down and in to right-handers. He actually, that's his out pitch against righties. That's what he gets. That's a 169 weighted on base. Righties are hitting against him this year with that pitch. That's what he gets you with. Gabe Spires, he's one of the guys that are going to come in ahead of Munoz to like shut you down 7, 8, 9 if it's in a close game, and completely put the kibosh on your stack. So I don't know, poll question or not, or you guys.
My only pushback, Chop, if you don't mind. By the way, not a great timing to feature him because his last start he blew a save. Just a heads up on Saturday.
That's good.
But my only pushback is if your team is up 7-0, your stack is up 7. Let's just say like they're up 7. They had a big start. He's not stifling anybody. He's one of their better pitchers. He's just going to rest. They're going to roll up the nonsense.
Dean, that's not the point.
I think it's stifler's misleading.
So you don't.
It's a 3-3 game. Your stack's going nowhere anyway.
It's the title of a segment, Dean. It doesn't mean it has to come true every day that you're going to stifle a stack. I'd like the people to vote on this. Is what I'm saying. You could have a late inning leverage report or stack stiflers. Or I could come up with something else next week. You never know. It's just evolving thing right here.
All right. So Mariners are in gummy anything as well as the Brewers. I saw Stevie hanging out in chat. Stevie in the bullpen as well as Carty coming in shortly. Cheap and roll, just Kevin Roth. Do hit that like button. Do subscribe. Do turn on those notifications. When we go live. 2 more games to go. Then we're going to knock out the knockers and of course the BBP suggestion of the day. Chops Astros versus the D-backs. Zach Gallen, one of the more popular pitchers in the bump, if not the most popular, according to our ownership stuff, at least as of like a half hour ago. No Isaac Paredes for the Astros for the foreseeable future. So this lineup, kind of a mid lineup at best, gets a little bit worse. No Houston lineup just yet, unless I missed it. And the Diamondbacks, who might be showcasing some players. We talk about Suarez possibly out the door, Merrill Kelly maybe out the door. We'll see what happens the next 10 days as far as the trade deadline. But Astros, Diamondbacks, Arizona is close to a 5-team total here. It's a pretty good number. Where are you throwing Arizona and Houston?
Yeah, this is a sad lineup for Houston that they're going to have to run out there for a couple weeks till they get some guys healthy. But just based on the lineup itself, I can't see myself being a big-time Houston stack guy moving forward until they start to get some guys healthy. So they're a tier 4 for me tonight, even against a very mid Zach Gallen. But that's roughly 4 or 5 guys who should be starting for them that are on the injured list. So this is a AAA lineup basically for the most part. So that's a tier 4. Arizona, Colton Gordon. Just don't, he's an okay guy. He's an innings eater moving forward. That's what he is. That's all he's going to do. He's nothing spectacular. Has his issues against right-handed batters. So this is a tier 2 team for me. They've got some guys, specifically Suarez is just like off the charts hot right now. I think he's 35 home runs or something right now. That's absurd. Like he's right there on pace with Aaron Judge and Big Dumper, man. And nobody's, kind of like flying under the radar, but yeah, he's hot. A couple other guys are hitting pretty well. They get a pretty good matchup here. I'll put them in tier 2.
Last game, Twins in LA, 9 total. Dodgers do a 5-team total. They're a -174 favorite. David Festa squaring off against the combination of Shohei Ohtani and Dustin May. We weren't sure if Freddie Freeman's going to play. He is going to play. He's in the 4-hole. He's not been great of late. The Dodgers, their offense outside of Ohtani, not that spectacular. Where do you want to throw the Twins in LA on the board?
Minnesota. Again, bad combination. You're going to get a guy who's a Cy Young level pitcher for 2 innings, maybe 3 innings. I don't know. And then you're going to come in with another pretty talented arm. It's just bad all around to try to stack that. That's a tier 4 at best. I'm going to put them in tier 4, but it could be a tier 5, but I'll put them in tier 4. The Dodgers for me, it's just a powerful offense.
I see what you're doing, Chop. I know what you're building, but go ahead. I think. But go continue.
What do I need?
You could. The Dodgers are currently in the 5-hole. That was producer Steve put them there, but I feel like you're going to move them out of there. And you can do the thing if you want to do the thing.
I could do the thing, but that's never my intention, Dean. This is totally purely organic. So I put them in tier 2. That's what I had. I'm not going to change it now, Dean. I can't do it just for the sake of some beautiful block on the board. It would be a fine, mighty fine piece of real estate looking there, but they're a tier 3. They're not a tier 1 just because, they're just not a tier 1. It's a good, actually, if the game is close, speaking of leverage and stack stifle, Minnesota has a good bullpen. So if the game is close, and they might be selling too at the deadline, some of those bullpen pieces, but I'll put them in tier 2. That's good enough for them.
All right, Chop, I'm going to recap the board. Afterwards, you're going to tell the people your knockers. You're going to tell the people your BBP suggestion of the day. If you missed it, if you joined late, Chop did our tiers today. Today's tiers category, apparently it's National Junk Food Day. So shout out to you. How have you guys celebrated National Junk Food Day? So Chop ranked junk food. Tier number 1, he put chips. There's 3 teams in chips. Top tier, it's the Mets, Tampa, and St. Louis. St. Louis, of course, there in Coors. Ice cream sandwich is tier number 2. That's San Fran, Atlanta, Colorado, Arizona, and the Dodgers. Tier 3, pizza rolls. It's the Yankees, the A's, Texas, and the Cubs. Little Debbie snacks is tier number 4. Toronto, Chicago, Houston, and Minnesota. All the way at the bottom, controversial. Some people are saying, people have DM'd me. They're very upset. Gummy anything gummy is in tier 5 for Chop. That's the Angels, Kansas City, Milwaukee, and Seattle. All right, Chop. The people are clamoring. They've been hitting that like button because they want today's BBP suggestion. They want today's knockers. What do you got?
So BVP suggestion of the day, obviously just a suggestion. As always, this is not financial advice. This is just a suggestion here. You can.
It's all a suggestion, to be fair. Not just everything.
I've got to play the numbies here. I can't shy away from it. It's Vlad Guerrero, Dean. The numbers jump off the chart more than anybody else tonight, even in a perceived tough matchup. Numbers jump off more than anybody else. He's got to be the BVP suggestion of the day. It's part of the reason I'm fading Carlos Rodon. Too much Vlad, man. Too much Vlad. So we got that out of the way.
That's fire, I think. I'm pretty sure.
That could have been.
That was a fire.
That could have been something else. It could have just been an open mic a hot mic on Steve on accident.
It was not peeing. It was fire.
Okay.
Did you hear the was it Scheffler? Did you hear the golf clip of I'm like a child when it comes to this. Somebody farted on camera.
Oh, that was a good one.
And the announcer goes, the ball caught a gust of wind there. Just a little gust of wind from the back end, and like the announcers were handled it spectacular.
That was good stuff. So we got the knockers, Dean. Knockers. I don't know if you've ever been out to the desert and caught some desert knockers, but we're going to the desert tonight for these knockers. Going 3-6 in the order. Lourdes Gurriel, Randall Grichuk against. Now I could have gone with the expensive knockers, Ketel and Suarez, but expensive knockers, not really my flavor. I like them nice and cheap knockers, man. Gurriel, Grichuk, let's get it.
Ketel had a rough weekend. He was robbed when he was away for the All-Star game. Good to see him back there in the lineup. We got to tell the people about today's Movie Monday. Chop, do you know the answer just yet or no? Have you seen anybody say it in the chat? We did have a winner in Discord.
I haven't seen it, Dean, but I don't think I have an answer. My answer is the one I would give is not correct because that's not the way you roll. So I don't know.
It's a cartoon, if that helps. It's a cartoon. Actually, originally it was a cartoon, and it was also remade like 5 years ago. I don't know if anybody saw it or not, but I certainly didn't see it. But clue number 1 is Christina. And if you somehow get on the right frame, you can actually bank it in one if you somehow like put some dots together. You remember Christina Aguilera, pop singer?
Yes, cool.
Yeah. Remember the song "Genie in a Bottle"? One of her bigger hits. Right there, it just gives the whole thing away if you connect those dots. Clue number 2 is bird. Bird is in reference to Lago, the parrot. Of course, a parrot is bird. Remember Gilbert Gottfried? That comes up later as well. 3 is 3 because 3 wishes are granted in this movie. You have 3 wishes. 4 is duck. The aforementioned Gilbert Gottfried was a spokesman for Affleck. And again, he stars in this movie. At least you hear his voice. And the 5th clue is rub. You rub a lamp when you want to make a wish. Genie in a bottle. Magic carpet ride. Aladdin. Did you? I thought you were going to get there. Or you tapped out and you didn't care.
Oh no, I'll stop listening, Dean. I didn't have no more guesses.
Yeah, did I mispronounce? TJ's in chat. Did I mispronounce the name of the character that the bird played? Was it Lago? Was it not Lago? I don't know. I've seen Aladdin once. It's with the Y. Derek Carty's upset. Is it Yago? Dude, I don't know, man. I haven't seen Aladdin in forever, but yeah, there you go. Did I just type it wrong? Because I typed Lago down, and maybe that's not correct. And they'll let me know here. Crunch Time's assembled. They're going to give me the business. It's Chief Meteorologist Kevin Roth. It's Derek Carty. It's Stevie. It's Crunch Time right now. Let's do it. All right. So, Carty, what did I do wrong there with the bird's name? How did I goof?
You said Lago.
And it's Yago?
It's Yago, yeah.
Okay. Well, how is it spelled with an L, though?
No, it's like IAGO or something, yeah.
Okay. Iago? I think according to TJ in chat, he did.
Yeah, the E you kind of drag a little bit. You don't emphasize the E, but yeah.
Okay. All right. Otherwise, I'm sorry. My apologies to Roth. You seem very upset by this. You're offended.
I didn't have to be because Carty and TJ were all over it. But yes, they're correct. By the way, I've been listening to a lot of Disney radio because now I have kids. Yeah. And the Will Smith version of the Genie song is so bad compared to
it's so bad. It's unlistenable.
It's just incredibly bad. And the original one with Robin Williams is freaking great. He's doing all the voices and it's fun. What a drop off that was, man.
Did you see the movie? You get suckered into the movie because of the kids?
I don't think I ever did. No, I don't think I did. Yeah.
Yeah. Do the kids not like the song as well? Even the kids are like, yeah, change the channel? Or
yeah.
They don't know.
I mean, it's just not good. It just Robin Williams, it kind of made you appreciate how good he was to even make that song as great as it was.
TJ pointing out in chat too, Dean. I mean, maybe you're not as well read as the rest of us, but Yago is a character in Othello also.
Okay. All right. Well, TJ got me. I'm not a literature major. I didn't read the entire anthology of Shakespeare. So my bad. I'm more of a Romeo and Juliet guy. You got me. I'll pronounce it correctly next time. I don't know why I went with Aladdin. I think I saw something subconsciously. I think I saw something about Robin Williams. I think it was his birthday over the weekend, and that was just kind of stuck in my head. So I went a little bit against type because I generally don't pick movies that I haven't really seen. Well, I did see this once. I saw this once.
Did anyone get it? Did people get it?
Yeah, they got it. They got it in two. It's very smart chat. You got some smart people watching the show. Hey, Roth, we're going to talk baseball in a second, but I'm curious. Any updates on your barbecuing? Is everything assembled? Any progress over the weekends?
I'm looking at it now. It's put together. I've got to hook it into the natural gas, and there were so many wires to connect. I really think I'm going to blow myself up. Like I may die trying to turn it on. So download those weather apps now because you may lose me.
Well, I mean, risk versus reward, in the upgrade and how much better the ribs taste, but we can't. You got propane tanks? Is that what's going to happen? Are we going to fire up a propane tank and just
got natural gas, connect it right to the house? Mm-hmm. Don't need the propane, but we'll see.
Okay. It was a good run,
right.
But hopefully it doesn't come down to it. But it's all right. Myself and Chop, we're going to step aside and get out of here and make way for crunch time. You got Carty, you got Stevie, and you have Roth. You have 47 minutes thanks to Toronto and their 7:07 start. Roth, take it away.
Weirdos, they're loonies and toonies. Welcome to it. Good stuff as always. You know the drill. It's crunch time. It's two of the sharpest minds in the biz. We got my guy Stevie in the house. What up, Stevie? Been a minute. How are you, bud?
Doing good. I didn't even know I was on crunch time today. I'm not gonna lie. I did not know until whoever sent out the tweet like an hour ago. I'm well prepared. I mean, I'm ready to go. But I didn't know that. Like, I've been in the volleyball gym like all day today. So yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll get on our DFS grind here. Is that the old school Bucks? Is it Bucko Bruce? Was that the mascot's name?
So I coach for the Mainland Buccaneers. I'm wearing. I literally came straight from the gym with volleyball.
Okay, but also, is that Bucko Bruce from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
I think that's his name. Like old school, like the old creamsicle orange.
Creamsicle. Yeah, back then. All right, looks good.
You could tell we're Florida guys. Yeah, you could always tell Roth and I are Florida guys.
Yeah. We got Carty in the house as well. What up, Carty? How are you?
Doing pretty well. Don't have as much knowledge of like 1950s Tampa Bay sports culture as you guys, but I hope I make up for it with my baseball knowledge.
Yeah. 1950s is a bit of a stretch. All right, we're not that old, but
I know. I was gonna say, come on, my friend. Yeah.
I think they were still like late 90s. I think they were still in the creamsicles, or at least
no, they weren't. No,
yes, they were. Oh yeah. No, they were in the 90s. Yeah, they were that because like my grandmother was a huge
like that whole Warren Sapp era. They were.
They made the switch in that era.
Vinatieri, right? Wasn't it Vinatieri? Like he was part of the creamsicles. That was the 90s. So I remember all this because of my grandmother was a huge Tampa fan. So I remember the swag.
Yeah, some reminiscing, but also as Carty mentioned, we're here to talk baseball. I'm here to talk weather specifically, and there's not a whole lot to talk about. Low chance of a delay in Atlanta, Tampa, and Colorado. Whatever you were planning on doing in those games, do it anyways. Hitters, pitchers, the games are going to play, and there's just a low chance of delay in any of them. And I like the hitting weather in Colorado, always. Atlanta, winds blowing out, and Tampa, hot, small ballpark, winds kind of gently blowing out there. I do not like the hitting weather in Chicago. Winds are blowing in. It's not like a huge downgrade, but it matters. Winds blowing in at Wrigley, that matters. So I like the pitching there, and that's it. That's my whole weather spiel. And with that, we can kick it to the boys and discuss what we're doing on this slate. Carty, why don't you lead us off?
This slate doesn't really have. We'll talk pitching first. I mean, it doesn't really have like an obvious kind of guy. Like even ownership wise, like I don't think one guy is going to stick out as like massive chalk. We kind of have a clump of like, I'd say 5 guys at the top that are all similarly enough projected, all I think roughly going to eat into the ownership a little bit. And then kind of if anything you do besides them is going to make you different. If you even need to do that, because none of these guys, like none of them are going to be like 30 or 40 or 50% owned, like definitely not. George Kirby, I think is the one that I like the most. Reasonably enough priced. One of the better matchups of this group. The others, you have Shane Baz, you have Kevin Gausman, you have Zach Gallen, and Brandon Woodruff. Gallen, he's been not very good this year, but you get the biggest price discount on him out of all the guys, and he's facing the Astros, whose lineup is it's not the Astros anymore. Yeah. Woodruff, I would have more interest in if we knew what kind of leash they were going to give him. He's 2 starts removed from the IL. They haven't let him really go yet. In tournaments, there's certainly the chance, like he theoretically could throw 95 or maybe even 100 pitches here. But he's expensive, and he's not for cash games. I'll say that. Aside from those 5, though, I think you can make a case for some of the cheaper stuff. It looks like Ben Brown is going to come in behind Ryan Brazier as the bulk guy for Chicago. His ERA is like, I don't know, 1,000 this year. But all of his expected ERA stuff is like really, really good. Like theoretically, this guy is a good pitcher who's just been incredibly unlucky for half a year. They sent him down to the minors. Now he's back up, potentially going to get another chance in a pretty good spot. You get a big price discount, a big ownership discount. I like Ben Brown a lot. And then I think you can also make a case for either guy from the Oakland, Texas game. Lopez and Leiter are both 6.8K, both reasonably priced, both with enough upside, I think, to contribute at that price.
Did you mention Bybee at all? Tremazzo said he was ranked higher in the bat than I expected. Any interest there?
Bybee on the slate?
Well,
I don't think so. Does that game start early?
Yeah, it's an early game.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a 6:40 start, so not on the main slate.
But I think, and Stevie, correct me if I'm wrong, FanDuel has lumped in those games.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't think so.
No, FanDuel's the same 7:07 start for the main slate.
All right. Well, then,
hey, like the sites have like smaller slates for those games, but
yeah. All right. Well, then, never mind. Okay, Stevie, I want your thoughts here as we look at the pitchers. By the way, someone in chat said, Carty, it was, I believe, 1997 when they switched over the jerseys. So,
all right. So I was around like 98, 99, I think, when they were like Super Bowl and everything.
Yep.
You're
so right after they made the switch.
Yeah.
They made the switch. They got Gruden. Things were happening. All right, Stevie, your thoughts pitcher-wise?
Yeah, I actually kind of agree with a lot of what Derek said. Me and him typically agree on pitching a lot. So Woodruff, you worried about pitch count. Like he said, he didn't pitch at all last year, so he's coming back from like a full rebuild in the shoulder. His stuff looks awesome through 2 starts. Seattle strikes out a bunch. You don't know if you're getting 80 or 95 pitches. So tournaments, sure, take some shots on Woodruff today. He has plenty of strikeout upside. George Kirby, I think if you're looking for like a safer, like really high floor type play, the Milwaukee lineup is not as good as it was last year, and some of these hitters have struggled. So I think Kirby's kind of like your safer option today. I prefer like Kirby if I was going to pay up. But honestly, like I think today is a day you can just kind of pay down. I like Zach Gallen a lot. Like everyone has said before me, the Houston lineup, not the best. It's a very right-handed heavy lineup. Zach Gallen is very splitsy, really good against righties throughout his career, kind of struggles against lefties throughout his career. And this is a very, very right-handed heavy lineup that just isn't good with all the guys hurt. So I think Zach Gallen, paying down for him makes a lot of sense. I like Jacob Lopez a lot. He's probably my favorite point per dollar pitcher on the slate. This Texas lineup is awful against left-handed pitching. Lopez has plenty of strikeout ability. So this game being in Texas, I think, is a huge bump. When he's not pitching in that Athletics ballpark is a huge bump to him. So, I mean, this is a guy that has a 27.8% strikeout rate on the season, facing a team that has one hitter over 200 ISO against lefties this year, and that's Corey Seager. So lefty. I'll take that. So I just, for the price, really like Lopez. So, I mean, if I was kind of ranking out guys today for tournaments, it'd be like Lopez, Gallen, Kirby, Woodruff, like right there with Kirby. It's just, again, you're taking the risk on pitch count when it comes to Woodruff.
Okay. Let's go over to FanDuel, Steve. You only get one pitcher there. Who are you locking in?
Yeah, I mean, as far as like locking in, I really like Kirby. Like the pricing on FanDuel, we talk about this all the time. I feel like the pricing on FanDuel just so much easier to kind of pay up for pitching and kind of fit everybody else around him. So I think like Kirby makes the most sense over there to get like a quality start, pitch really well, score a good amount of fantasy points. Outside of him, it'd kind of be those same 2 guys like Zach Gallen, Jacob Lopez. Still, I think Woodruff on FanDuel, he makes a lot more sense on DK. His price on FanDuel is just so high, and if you only get 5 innings out of Woodruff and he doesn't get that quality start, like he's going to need like a 10 strikeout game and not really get hit very hard to pay off that price tag. So I think it's more likely that you see Kirby or Gallen get there on FanDuel.
Yeah. Okay. Good stuff. Let's go around the horn. Position by position. Carty, why don't you start us off with some catcher talk?
No stacks today, Roth?
Damn it. You're right. We should probably discuss the stacks. I mentioned I love the hitting weather in Atlanta, Colorado, and Tampa. You like any of the teams there?
I do, especially Colorado. The Cardinals are, I think, the clear best today. They'll be the highest owned. The Rockies on the other side, I think, are really good too, though, and they will not be as owned. So big on the Rockies today. I think the Dodgers and the Rays are probably like the other high-end stacks. You'll have to pay for them in terms of like cheaper stuff. I think there's a number of options today. Giants, Twins, Yankees, Mets. And honestly, I don't mind stacking a couple of these teams against those core pitchers that are going to be like somewhat chalky. Like you can get the White Sox or you can get the Astros like really cheap. And you get some leverage. I don't mind at all doing something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Stevie, your favorite stacks?
Yeah, I mean, in tournaments, I think I'm going to go underweight on cores and just kind of hope that they don't hit a lot of home runs. I mean, I think that they're clearly the 2 best spots on the slate, like Carty said. But to be honest, like, I mean, I think there's like 4 or 5 teams that can outscore Coors today at much lower ownership. I think the Giants make a lot of sense. You know, you were talking about the weather in that game. Elder is a below average pitcher. We've seen enough of him to know like he's not a good pitcher. He gives up a ton of power to both sides of the plate. So the Giants get a huge ballpark upgrade going from that ballpark to Atlanta with the weather. So I really like the Giants. I really like the Braves. Birdsong can't get lefties out. He's getting crushed by lefties. So you get Olsen in there. You get Baldwin at catcher. You get Albies. You get Profar hitting leadoff. That's kind of cheap. So I like those 2 spots. I kind of like the Athletics. I don't think that they're going to get any ownership today. You know, when they get out of that ballpark, they don't typically get as much ownership. But like Jack Leiter is a below average strikeout pitcher. This team, when they're not striking out, they have a ton of power. So if you look at, 4 or 5 guys have ISOs over 200 against right-handed pitching this season. So I think the Athletics are that sneaky team that you could potentially take some shots on. And I guess I'll mention the Rays too. I like the Rays. Anytime Sean Burke is pitching, I think you could play him against him. His command is really shaky, so you can get runners on. You get guys like Simpson who could steal multiple bags. Then you get guys like Camnero, Diaz, Arnanda that can hit the ball over the fence in that ballpark. So, those are kind of what I'm looking at stacks-wise.
Got a couple teams thrown out here. J3 says full stack the Mets. Steven says Arizona. Do either of you have any interest in either of them?
Yeah, I think the Mets especially are pretty solid tonight.
Yeah. Okay.
The Mets.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say the Mets are interesting because like people hate playing lefty, and Anderson can't get lefties out, and the Mets loaded their lineup with lefties today. So I think like you're not going to see as much ownership as you typically would because it's lefty. And these guys can hit left-handed pitching. So I think it's an interesting spot for the Mets today.
Okay, let's go around the horn. Carty, you were going to start at catcher, but then you corrected me that I screwed up and skipped. So now Stevie starts at catcher. I don't know what that means down the line, but it could be bad. We'll see. Stevie, what do you like?
Is that like a punishment? Like, because like neither one of us really want to talk about catcher, but we go back to that core situation. Herrera against Gomber, top end catcher. If you want to pay up, if you can afford it, we talked about saving money at pitcher. If you can play Herrera, he's in a great spot. I like the idea of like maybe getting different, like a Cal Riley, and paying up to be different. Like Cal Riley is one of the best power hitters in baseball. Woodruff, like when he does struggle, it's home runs. So, but I think my favorite catcher outside of Coors is probably Drake Baldwin today. I talked to how much I like that spot for the Atlanta lefties. He's 4,200 on DraftKings, hitting in that 4 spot. I do have to mention, like, we get the lefty masher James McCann back in our life. I just had to mention that just for Carty. I don't know if I'd play him today. I just wanted to mention it to make Carty laugh.
Well, is he facing a lefty? Yes or no? If he's facing a lefty, you have to play him. That's the rule, Stevie.
Yeah, like if he was like 2,100, I think I'd play him. But he's like a mid.
He's gonna mash a lefty. He's gonna mash a lefty. The price doesn't matter.
But yeah, I mean, I think my favorite catcher today is Drake Baldwin.
Okay. Carty, before you give us your catcher thoughts, I want to point out we've got, I think, 700,000 people watching and only 150 likes. And that seems way short. So make sure you hit that thumbs up. If you're watching on mobile on YouTube, J3 pointing out it's hard to find the like button. You just got to close out the little chat. Hit the little X by the chat, then hit the thumbs up, then bring the chat back up. It's easy enough. So make sure you're hitting that thumbs up for us. It is, after all, free content. Carty, your thoughts at catcher?
I agree. The Coors guys are great. Herrera, if you can get up there. Goodman, if you can get up there. Even though he's a righty, I like Sean Murphy today. You get a 700 savings over Baldwin. I think he has more power than Baldwin to begin with, so I'm good with him. Yainer Diaz, I mentioned Houston. You get some really, really good prices on Houston today. So Yainer Diaz in your Houston stacks. Even as a one-off, I don't mind him for 3.2K.
Yeah. How about first?
Ohtani, obviously, is the top guy, as he is all the time. Even though we have Coors in our lives, I still think you can find good ways to get up to Ohtani. I don't think he'll be as crazy owned as he might be on other slates. We have Wilson Contreras for the Cardinals. projecting almost as well, and he's a lot cheaper. So I think Contreras is going to be your top guy, probably the highest owned. But I do like Ohtani at what's going to be pretty reasonable ownership tonight in a good matchup. I like Yandy Diaz quite a bit as a one-off in tournaments or as part of a race stack. If you're going cheap at first base, I don't think tonight's you can. If you're fading cores, you can. The cheap guys are Miguel Vargas and Christian Walker for Houston. Another reason to, like I said, I think from both of these teams, you're going to find just some crazy low prices and you're going to get leverage. So first base is definitely a spot that you can put in your stacks and probably really like change up the entire complexion of your lineup relative to the field.
Yeah. I am getting some people saying the Houston lineup dropped and it is gross AF. Someone else says it's terrible. We expected it to be bad, but perhaps it's even worse.
I guess it's even worse. I haven't seen it yet. If someone wants to drop it in chat.
Yeah. If you can drop it for us, that would be wonderful. Stevie, first base.
I love Pete Alonso and Matt Olson as a pivot off of Contreras. I think Contreras projects as the top first baseman outside of Ohtani. And Ohtani's going to project as the top first baseman every day because he's just one of the best hitters in baseball. So I love the pivot with Olson or Alonso off of Contreras. We talked about that Tampa game. I don't mind Arnanda. I like Kurtz. I think Kurtz is the real deal. Like, obviously, we'll know in like 5 or 6 years whether or not he is the real deal or if he's like a Joey Gallo. But Kurtz has a lot of power, so I don't mind taking some shots against a below average strikeout pitcher there. I don't want to pay down at first base. I want to pay up as much as possible. I don't really like anything. I'm playing like 3 teams, I think, and I don't think I paid down at first base at all.
Yeah. Okay. By the way, that Houston lineup: Smith, Altuve, Caratini, Walker, Trammell, Dubon, McCormick, Matthews, and Short.
I'm trying to figure out who's actually the catcher. I guess Caratini.
Caratini, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's not pretty. Second base, Stevie, what are we doing there?
Carty, you could probably say it too, but I don't think Caratini is a good throwing catcher either, right? I think this could be
I'm pretty sure he's terrible. I'd have to go double check, but yeah.
I thought like in the back of my head, like when you said that, it like rang a bell that he's not a good throw. Like, so it might be a spot where like you bump up Marte, Carroll, Gurriel a little bit, who can like run. So anyway,
Caratini projects as the worst throwing catcher, honestly.
Yeah, see,
I thought by a considerable margin.
And it kind of goes into, we're about to talk about second base. I mean, that I was kind of thinking like Marte could be an interesting tournament pivot now if you want to pay up at second base. Realistically, like second base, and I know we say it a lot, but like if you're looking at second base, you're going to likely just kind of play who you're stacking. Donovan projects really well today, lefty. I don't mind that. Gomber probably not going to pitch too deep into this game anyway. I like the lefty matchup of like Jeff McNeil if you want to save some money at second base. I talked about those types of matchups. I don't mind like Clement for Toronto with the platoon advantage. But realistically, like second base is typically a position that I just kind of land on who's in my stack or pay up to be different. My second base play today would probably be like a Jeff McNeil.
Yeah. Okay. Carty, second.
Yeah, second's gross. Donovan, if you can get up there in cash, is probably the guy you want, but Marte will get a bump with Caratini behind the plate, so he's really interesting in tournaments. I kind of like the Twins guys a little bit today, especially at second where it's just such a bad position anyway. Willie Castro and Cody Clemens, they're going to have to face Ohtani to start the game, but Ohtani probably goes 3 innings here, maybe 4, and then it looks like we're getting Dustin May behind him, and I am not a Dustin May believer. These guys are cheap. They're getting a park upgrade. They're looking at, I believe this is one of those games with, actually, no, the weather's not anything special here, but yeah, they project well. They're priced well. The position's garbage. I think they're kind of the guys to save money with that I like.
Okay. Then we go to third, Carty.
Third doesn't really have an obvious guy unless you want to count Nolan Arenado in cores against a lefty, which I do not because I don't think Nolan Arenado is very good anymore. And I don't think there's a lot of people in chat who are even going to argue that point with me anymore because he's not very good anymore. He's fine at 4.5K, but I wouldn't consider him a priority guy. I do think he'll pick up the most ownership, so I think going away from him makes plenty of sense, especially considering that he doesn't even project that well. Matt Chapman projects better. He's 400 less. Rafael Devers in that Giants lineup too is 100 more and projects considerably better and lower owned. Caminero, I think at the top is a great play in tournaments. I think Jazz is a great play in tournaments. I don't know if this is the position to really save money. If you have to, you have McMahon in Coors, who I think is totally fine. Or you do have Nacho Alvarez, who I think is actually kind of decent. And Stevie mentioned earlier liking the spot for Atlanta, and he's 2.2K. You can play him at second base also, which maybe second's the spot to play him at. But you can play him at third too. And I think he's probably one of the better almost min price guys you can find today.
Okay. By the way, a few people pointing out it is not just Nolan Arenado. It is a Nolan Arenado.
Oh, because he's going back to Colorado.
Revenge narrative, Carty. It's a good one. So tweak your models, tweak the bat as needed. Stevie, third base. What do you like?
I think Devers is my top play on the slate. Like all overall. I think that he's just kind of going overlooked in an amazing spot. I love the Nolan Arenado revenge though. That's tough. That's tough. I mean, he knows how to hit in that ballpark. That's for sure. So yeah, I mean, I love the matchup for Devers. I like the call on Alvarez. He makes a lot of sense at second base. We talked about how gross second base was. We kind of forgot to mention him at second base, but on DraftKings where you can play him at second and just save the money is great. I don't mind Matt Chapman in that same game if you're getting off of Devers or if you're playing on FanDuel where you can play both of them. I think that makes a lot of sense. Again, I love the Giants today, so I'm going to mention Giants as much as possible. Yeah, Cam Nero, like Carty said. Again, I like the Rays. So the only one that I do want to point out, Suarez just absolutely murdering the baseball. Righties, lefties, underhand, overhand does not matter. He's just crushing the baseball. I think he has 35 plus home runs, and this is a really good matchup. Gordon is awful against right-handed hitters, so the Suarez not going to get any ownership today. Play makes a lot of sense for tournaments if you're getting off of some of these more popular options. Third base, really good position today.
Yeah, there's a lot to like at third base today.
All right, Stevie, take me to short.
Yeah, it's kind of opposite, right? It's opposite day. We usually love shortstop, but I think I like third base more than shortstop today. I mean, Adames is probably my favorite play at shortstop. I like Wynn. We talk so much about Coors and that ballpark's just huge. Wynn hits a ball in the gap in Coors and he's getting a triple. If he hits a single, he can steal second. He can steal third. So I like the play of Mason Wynn, but Willy Adames really stands out to me. Righty. Adames actually hits right-handed pitching a little bit better than he hits left-handed pitching. His platoon's a little bit better. I mean, I don't mind Lindor. I don't mind these guys up at the top, but I think shortstop maybe a position today. Even Mookie Betts, a shortstop position today, we can kind of pay down and feel pretty good about paying down. Mookie Betts, his price on DraftKings is silly, and he's going to be hitting leadoff again, so maybe he can start getting going a little bit.
Yeah, Carty, shortstop.
Yeah, it's not a day where you have to feel bad about not paying up for a shortstop. The high-end shortstops don't project especially well today. They're all expensive, obviously. So saving money at short, I'm on board with. Willy Adames, I totally agree with Stevie on him. I think he's great. The guy I like the most, I think, is Ezekiel Tovar for 3.4K, I think, in Coors hitting second. We're still getting that post-IL salary discount on him. He's like a 4.5K player, especially when he's at Coors. So to get him at 3.4 here, I think is kind of a steal. Wynn might pick up more ownership on the other side because it's the Cardinals, but when price is considered, I think Tovar's easily better. And that's I think that's about it.
Okay. How about the outfield, Carty?
All right. Coors is, of course, going to kind of litter this, especially for cash games. Alec Burleson, Jordan Walker, The guys on the Colorado side I like. Mickey Moniak in particular I think is great. Brenton Doyle I think is really good. Ohtani, we mentioned it first, but you can play Contreras at first and Ohtani in the outfield, and there are definitely ways to make that happen in like an optimal sense, and I think that's really interesting to do. Aside from that, if you're doing like the Houston White Sox kind of really cheap stack thing, like you have Trammell and McCormick in that Houston lineup for 2.1 and 2.3K. You have Luis Robert for 3.3K in the White Sox lineup. You have Benintendi and Brooks Baldwin, even cheaper than that. So I do think there's some interesting guys down there that get you some leverage, that save you some money, that make you different. That's kind of my out there take today.
Yeah. Stevie, outfield.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the same situations that we've been talking about. I will say, like, I like the idea of paying up for Ronald Acuna to be different today. He just looks like he's Ronald Acuna again. Power, speed, low ownership, good ballpark. Love the hitting conditions today in Atlanta, like you've mentioned multiple times. I mean, in Tampa too. Like, it's just really hot in the Southeast right now. I don't want to hear you northern people say it's hot, because I mean, it is scorching in Florida right now. So yeah, I mean, the other ones I just kind of want to throw out there. Rooker for the Athletics, I think, is a really good play today. I talked about the Athletics and how I like them. I love that everybody's starting to get on board, even the Rockies, on Mickey Moniak. Like, I've been saying this for the last couple of years. Like, why is this guy hitting like 7th and 8th for this team? Like, there's no reason. Like, there's a couple
They've
reasons
been
why
hitting first and second a lot lately. Like,
yeah, I know.
Finally, yeah,
we have a new coaching situation. Like, yeah, you should get fired if you have like no talent and this guy's hitting 7th and 8th. Like, it made no sense. The other one I want to mention, I know I like Lopez a lot today, but like Wyatt Langford is really good against lefties. He's kind of, he's projecting for like no ownership, so I don't mind getting some like exposure to Langford. But and then Grichuk for Arizona. We talked about the bump for Arizona hitters with Caratini behind the plate. Grichuk's really cheap. Again, you could pick on Gordon with any of these right-handed bats, and Grichuk is still in the major leagues because of left-handed pitching. So I don't know if I'd call him a lefty masher per se, because we want to leave that for James McCann. But yeah, platoon wise, like Grichuk, if he couldn't hit lefties, like he probably wouldn't be in the league. So yeah.
Okay. We want some home run calls. I want you guys to think long and hard about who you may suggest here for some bombs. In the meantime, I was thinking, if you're planning on being good at something, you might as well be a pro. And that's what we've got going on, because we want to hook you up with Combo Pro, 6-month subscription. You get full access now through September 1st for free, and your subscription won't end until March 1st. So basically, you get 6 free weeks to build lineups, test projections, get dialed in before the NFL season starts. Promo's only good until the 22nd, so tomorrow. So basically, you buy the Combo Pro 6-month subscription, and you get 6 weeks, I think, for free, which, right. You pay for 6 months, you get an extra 6 weeks. That's a pretty good deal, and it ends tomorrow. So make sure you are signing up there for RotoGrinders Combo Pro. Let's do some home run calls. Carty, what do you got?
High-end, Ohtani projects the best. In terms of like sneakier stuff, Christopher Morel, I didn't mention him before, but he projects really well for a home run today. I like him on the betting side also. A couple of books put him up at like plus 750 this afternoon, which was just like egregious, because the bat thinks fair value is plus 350. So it was just like massive value that got on him. I think they were pricing him like he had pinch hit risk, which he does when he faces a lefty, but he's in there righty against righty. So they're probably not going to pinch hit for him. He's probably going to play the whole game. So I like him for DFS and for betting. And then Trent Grisham, I think, is an underrated kind of home run threat. People don't realize that he has legit power.
Nice. Okay. Stevie, you got a few names for me as well?
Yeah, I mean, going all the way to the top, I like Acuna a lot to hit a home run today. Devers is another one that I really like to go yard in that like good hitting condition Atlanta game. And then again, I mean, off the board, give me Brent Rooker. It's weird saying off the board because I mean, like he has great power, but he doesn't like the Athletics are just kind of going overlooked today.
Yeah. Okay. Good stuff, guys. We have 15-ish minutes here until we hit lock. Let's open it up to some QQs, and we will start with baseball questions only. We will then, start talking about dinner, volleyball, my grill that's going to blow me up, whatever we want once we get a little closer to lock.
My wife is cooking dinner right now, and I'm so hungry I can smell it. Like,
do you know what she's making or no?
Crunch wraps.
Smell it? What is it?
Crunch wraps. Crunch wraps.
Oh,
Taco
nice.
crunch wraps. Yeah.
Sounds fantastic. Let's see here. Better revenge spot. Obviously, this goes to Carty. Nolan Arenado or Christian Walker. Who is in the more vengeful spot, Carty?
I guess it's Arenado.
Yes.
Get on board. I mean, you got to play him now. You have to lock him into every lineup.
2 revenge bombs for Arenado.
Stevie against a lefty in a revenge spot, like probably 3 bombs today.
You're right. I undersold.
Probably write that in pen.
Yeah, lock it. D-Rock says, Stevie, DKGPP, Donovan Wynn Walker or McNeil Lindor Nimmo.
I mean, if you don't care about ownership, the first one.
Okay. Let's see. Stevie, right back to you here. This is from Alan. Gallen and Marte or Woodruff and Terang.
Oh, hold on. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Eric Johnson in chat points out it's an Austin Gomber revenge spot too. So going to cancel your Arenado lineups, everybody.
Yeah. It's the double revenge narrative there. They fully cancel each other out. That's a good point. Okay. That changes things. Undo the lineup. Let's see. Stevie, Gallen, Marte, or Woodruff Terang, DK single entry.
I did not hear the first one. Go one more time. Sorry.
It was Gallen and Marte or Woodruff Terang.
The first one. I mean, yeah, I think the first one, yeah.
Okay. Carty J. Sam says, can Carty tell us who has the highest pinch hit risk for the Rays?
I can go to the next question. It'll take me a sec to pull up, but I can do that.
Jumping into the YouTube. Make sure you hit us with the thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. Stevie, how do you feel about Senga today?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't necessarily talk about him when we were talking about it. Like, the Angels have a lot of power, but they strike out, I think, the second highest strikeout rate in the league. So, I mean, if you wanted to take some shots on him in tournaments, I wouldn't necessarily talk you off of him. His walks have been the biggest thing with him. Like, his command, like, he can run up his pitch count in like 1 or 2 innings where, like, he can really, like, so I don't know who's umpiring in that game. I haven't looked, but, that definitely matters for me on him.
The thing I think that's important on Senga is that he is not fully stretched out yet. He made 1 rehab start.
Yeah.
Came up to the majors through 68 pitches and then 67 pitches. So, like, you're not getting more than 85, 90 out of him today. Like, I almost think he's unplayable personally.
Okay. And then I forget what I asked you earlier, Carty, but you were searching something.
Oh, yeah. Raise pinch hit risk. Very little. Kim has an 18% chance. Everyone else is below 10.
Nice. Okay. Roth, who was your favorite hitter today? Is Acuna playing? Can I pick him? Acuna?
You can.
Acuna. And then the dude on the Rays that hits home runs, it's either Caminero or Caballero. I get them confused, but it's the one who actually hits home runs. Which one is that?
That would be Caminero.
Caminero is my next favorite hitter for a bomb. Let's see. Scrolling down. Carty, Ketel Marte is plus 1280 on FanDuel to swipe a bag. Would you smash that?
Plus 1280. I can pull that up. Go to the next one. But yeah, that sounds pretty good off the cuff.
Okay. Stevie, DKGPP from Terry. Which San Francisco outfielder do you prefer, Lee or Ramos?
Ramos.
Okay.
I like both of them. I'm playing both of them in my San Francisco stack, but Ramos has a little bit more power than Lee.
Okay.
All right. So looked it up. Actually, Marte not showing a lot of value at that price. So it is what it is.
Okay. Stevie, right back to you. This is a DK Cash question. Caminero and Doyle or McMahon and Burleson?
Probably the second. I think like in cash, you probably just play the 2 Coors bats there.
Okay. Let's see. Chris Kamen says, Carty, I'm tempted to go Ben Brown for the big boy lineups, 500 plus. Where can I check, if anywhere, to confirm he's set to play coming out as the primary reliever?
You can't. That's why you got to put on your big boy pants. You got to hope that he actually pitches.
Yikes. Is that playable? Is that playable?
Oh, it's absolutely playable because I think Ben Brown's really good. They have an opener who's just going to go an inning. I mean, if he goes 2, that's literally it. Yeah. We don't know Ben Brown's going to pitch, but it seems likely.
Indications are.
I think I think you have some of them for sure.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's see. Question for the late night slate. So this is going to make you work for this one. Your favorite catcher on the late night slate. I don't know what exactly the late night slate entails here.
It's like the 3 games around like 10 o'clock.
Does not include Coors then?
It does not include Coors. Will Smith projects the best for value. It's Caratini.
Very good. Okay. Carty, right back to you. FanDuel cash question from Chris. Acuna, Caminero, or Carroll and Suarez?
I think it's probably Acuna Caminero for me.
Yeah. Clint says, Stevie, does Ohtani pitching affect his batting?
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
The guy is just, he's just really good at everything he does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone in chat saying it could be flexing behind the opener for the Cubs today. Like the Cubs have like a few guys that can give you length. So Brown is not a sure thing.
Yeah. Okay. A little dicey. Showboat King pointing out when I picked a home run call, it was offensive. I did not say the big dumper. You're right. I will add him in the mix. Big Cal, almost definitely going yard. Stevie, DK single entry. This is a lot, but I'm just going to read it. McMahon, Moniak, Fernandez 3-man with Lopez pitching, or Adolis, Hellman, Freeman with Woodruff pitching.
I mean, I definitely prefer McMahon, Moniak with Lopez. I think I just, again, like I like Lopez a lot. And if we knew Woodruff was going to throw 95 pitches today, I think me and Carty would both be way more interested in playing him. But like, there's a legit chance like this guy throws 80 pitches. Like he gets 5 innings and he's at 80 pitches, and they're like, we're not in. Like the Brewers are very, very careful with their pitching staff. So had we, it's like if you told me right now, like at the end of the night, Woodruff threw 95 pitches, like I would probably say I'd play him more, but just too unknown when it comes to pitch count for him.
Okay. I've been slacking in the Discord. That's my bad. Let me get some of those questions. Carty, is Cy Elder going to strike out another 12 Giants tonight?
I'm going to say no to that.
I hope not.
Your favorite low-owned stack in a FanDuel GPP? I will let you both answer. Carty, you can go first.
FanDuel GPP.
Low-owned.
Give me like, I mean, they're not low owned, but I think the Giants are a really good one.
Why would you take mine? You knew I was going to say the Giants.
All right, I'll take the Rays then, and you can have the Giants.
Yeah, I mean, I think those are the two clear when you're looking at ownership. It looks like the ownership's going to be pretty heavy on FanDuel for St. Louis, the Dodgers, the Mets. That's where like a lot of the ownership is going on FanDuel. So yeah, Giants.
Okay. Let's see. This question from Chinatown, Stevie. Vegas props on Gallen, Lopez, and Kirby are close, but that's the highest to lowest K prop order, with Kirby being the lowest. Okay. So do I ditch Kirby in DK cash and go double cheap?
I mean, I think Kirby is like one of the safest pitchers, but I mean, I like both of those pitchers. And I will say, like, the only strikeout prop that I bet today, for what it's worth, was Lopez over 5.5. So,
all right.
I mean, yeah.
Lone Wolf says Stevie, Diaz or Aranda?
Arnaldo, I'm guessing. Yeah, I like him more than Diaz.
Yeah. Okay. RC player says, "Hey Carty, DKGPP, is Noah Cameron viable? Wind's blowing in at Wrigley."
Yeah, he's viable. I'd like him a lot more if he was cheaper. 8K is a lot for a guy that I think is kind of fraudulent. And he's facing what is a good Cubs lineup. So I don't really like him that much today. There's other guys I'd prefer. I wouldn't tell you no.
Yeah. Okay. MT Red Sox says, "Is Gallen going to be chalky with this awful Houston lineup? And if so, should we consider Houston in DK tournaments?" And Cardi, I feel like you're on board with a little bit of both sides of that game.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. I think Gallen is probably a pretty solid cash play, but in GPPs, I do really like Houston at their prices. And what's going to be probably more leverage than I thought at the start of the show if Gallen's going to pick up some more ownership. So I really like Houston.
Yeah.
We don't have enough time to talk about how good Noah Cameron's going to be, but me and Carty are definitely going to have to talk more about this at a later date.
Okay.
He reminds me, okay, I'm not blowing this out of proportion, but Noah Cameron reminds me of Greg Maddux. I'm just saying, I think Noah Cameron in 5 years is going to be a pitcher that we talk about as like an ace. Like this guy, his stuff, it's not going to translate in numbers as much, but his stuff is just really good.
I don't know who he is, so I cannot. But generally,
you
with
will.
like star pitchers, you don't just work your way in 5 years. Like he's either got it or he doesn't. Stevie, does he have it? Or no?
He has it. I think he has it. I think his stuff is really good. He's no like Jacob deGrom, like strikeout like wise, but like he has elite command, and it's going to show over the next few years for sure.
Yeah, that matters. Painting the black. Let's see. San Francisco.
He has an extreme hitters umpire today, for what it's worth. So I don't know if you necessarily want to play Cameron today. Yeah.
Okay, that is a good note. San Francisco over Tampa Bay tonight in DK single entry. Well, you both initially picked San Francisco before Carty switched one. So I think the answer, you prefer San Francisco slightly.
Yeah. Giants are my favorite stack today.
Yeah. Who can grow a beard like Stevie faster, Roth or Carty?
Definitely not me.
Yeah, I grow a pretty good beard.
I do not.
Not that level or whatever side.
I just shaved recently too, man. This is like like 3 weeks, month, like in that range.
Okay, I'm not. I can't swing that. Let's see. DK Cash, Carty. It's a 3v3 for you. Goodman, Wynn, Grichuk, or Herrera, Tovar, Rooker.
I think the second one for me.
Okay, very good. Carty, your favorite 3 guys to steal a bag tonight. Now, I assume that does not mean based on odds, but rather just straight up odds of stealing a bag.
Yeah, so this is not for betting.
That's my understanding.
Yeah, so if we're just going like who has the best chance in a raw sense, it is Chandler Simpson, Bobby Witt Jr., Ellie De La Cruz.
There you go. Scrolling down.
I don't know what the odds are, but I'd put Jazz up there. I don't know what his odds are, but I think
actually Ellie's not on the slate. So Victor Scott 2 is the next guy.
Okay. Stevie, Herrera or Goodman for you from Jacob?
Herrera.
Okay. Let's see. Scrolling. Any Yankee stacks from either of you?
Yeah, definitely. I like Yankees. I don't like them as much as other stuff today, but I think everyone's going to feel that way. You get some leverage off of Gausman. They're the Yankees. They're pretty reasonably priced. I like the Yankees a lot today, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, Gausman, fly ball pitcher, a lot of home run upside for the Yankees, and no one's playing them today. So, yeah.
Okay. Jorge says Stevie Langford or Moniak, DK Cash.
Moniak. As much as I like Langford and Cash, I think you just play Moniak.
Very good. We are moments until lock, roughly a minute away here. DK GPP, Carty, Brown or Cameron?
Brown for me.
Okay. Well, make sure we got some people saying, hey, thanks, fellas. Make sure you hit the thumbs up on your way out. Remember, this is free. And if we get a lot of eyeballs, we can keep it free. But if we don't, then we're just going to make people pay for it. So hit the thumbs up for us so that we get more eyeballs so we can keep the show free for you. That would be everybody wins. Everybody wins if we do that. Vlad or Contreras, Carty, who do you prefer?
I prefer Contreras. But for tournaments, I think you can play Vlad. And his home run odds looked good today. He was one of the better home run bets you could make.
Okay. Stevie is having a crunch wrap for dinner. Carty, what are you having?
I had some pizza before the show.
That is not dinner because that was at like 5:30, so that does not count.
I'll
I
probably
eat dinner at 5:30 all the time. It's funny because like we have kids and like Dean was talking about the Aladdin stuff and it's just like who has kids and who doesn't.
Yeah. Oh, you can immediately. Yeah. People have like strong takes on Aladdin. Like, yeah, all right, you are a father.
It's like
FanDuel
you know how to
GPP.
pronounce all those. Yeah.
Yeah, if you know how to pronounce Iago. Stevie, FanDuel GPP Perdomo or Adamas?
Adamas.
Dang. Producer Steve, chicken wings with mac and cheese tonight. Hell yeah, brother.
There's a chicken wing like contest, and I'm so sad that I can't go this weekend. Like
you just get to sample all the delicious
like
chicken
yes,
wings.
like everybody, yeah, and like you judge them. I'm like, oh man, that sounds incredible. But NASCAR takes up too much time on the weekends. I can't do that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I did a celebrity barbecue judging contest once. And I was so excited because I was like, I'm going to get to try all this brisket and ribs. And I didn't realize you have to start with beans. And I don't like beans. And it was like 72 teams. I had to have 72 spoonfuls of beans before I could even get into
beans. How do you not eat like barbecue? Roth, come on.
They were like pinto beans. It was freaking terrible. It was the worst experience of my life. So yeah, you got to be careful in those food judging contests. Hey, we hit the lock. I think it's time to clear on out of here for Carty, for Stevie, for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes. Guys, we appreciate you. We love you. And we will catch you tomorrow. You have been